Directed, always read and follow pesticide label directions.
Future health weight loss.
Want to lose 10 pounds by next month? You need to go to futurehealth.com for easy, fast, and affordable access to weight loss meds like Ozempic, Zepbound, and pill options if you don't like injections. A new report proves Future Health users get 58% better results than meds alone, and with fewer side effects. We know you'd rather lose 45 pounds easily and keep it off than only 30 pounds by yourself and gain it all back. The meds eliminate hunger and cravings, while Future Health handles the rest. Easy. Plus, the best part? You don't need insurance. It's all done online with their licensed clinicians and fast pharmacy deliveries. Take the 3-minute quiz at futurehealth.com, get approved, and start losing weight this week. Visit futurehealth.com. That's futurehealth.com. Future without the E.
Future health weight loss.
Data based on independent study sponsored by Future Health. Future Health is not a healthcare services provider. Meds are prescribed at provider's discretion.
This little piggy wasn't affected by the market. This little piggy had protected funds. This little piggy locked in college costs. This little piggy had a 1-year plan. And all the little piggies went wee to college land.
Before you know it, those tiny feet will be off to college. Save the smartest way with a Florida 529 prepaid plan. Unlike a regular savings account, the funds are dedicated and guaranteed to cover tuition costs. So when they're ready to go, you are too. Prepaid plans start at $29 a month. Open enrollment ends April 30th.
Get an alarm clock. Get a rooster. Kane's Super Saturday starts this Saturday at 10 a.m.
Prepare to lose your mind.
One day only, everything is on sale. Over $40 million in furniture.
The whole shebang.
New sofas from $499. Dining rooms from $299. 3-piece beds from $299. Special financing store-wide.
Call the cops. This is stealing. Kane's Super Saturday.
Doors open at 10 a.m.
Insurance companies often play tough, offering you the bare minimum for your injuries. But why settle for less? With me, Mo DeWitt, your Orlando injury attorney, you pay nothing unless we win. Don't let the insurance companies push you around. Injured on the go? Just call Mo.
Kevin, why is my auto insurance so expensive? I need to switch because my company raised my rates again.
I hear you, Jay. I had the same problem, but then I called Acceptance. They saved me hundreds on my car insurance.
Really?
Yes, Acceptance was great. They did all the work comparing different plans and found me the best payment options that fit my budget.
Do you have their number?
Sure do. 800-606-7049. 800-606-7049.
Why pay more for auto insurance? Acceptance Insurance has offices in your neighborhood, and one call to Acceptance could save you up to 30% on your car insurance. 800-606-7049. Let Acceptance shop for you by comparing and finding the best rates. You could save up to 30%. 800-606-7049. 800-606-7049. Restrictions apply based on Q1 2024 study of Acceptance Insurance customers who reported saving when they switched. License number L012294.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Used cars, no tariffs, with prices as low as $58.88. Click OrlandoNissan.com.
Broadcasting live from the JustCallMo.com studios. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. Visit JustCallMo.com or dial 1-800-CALL-MO. This is WTKS-FM HD1, Cocoa Beach, Orlando. An iHeartRadio station. Make us the #1 preset on your car radio and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
Real Radio has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, FUN. F-U-N, FUN. Enter it now on our website, realradio.fm. Good luck.
Someone's going to get offended. It's just the way the world works. So to hopefully save everyone a little time and or energy, here's this. The opinions that you hear are those of the host and callers, and not those of iHeartMedia, its management, or advertisers. Junkie is on. The 3 best friends you never knew you had, running through the most
most viral stories of the day. The news junkie Sean Wasson with Sabrina and C-Lane.
It is Thursday, April 17th, 2025. Lots to get to today. From Fyre Festival is canceled. Dave's Killer Bread gets a little more killer. And Haley Joel Osment runs wild at a ski resort. Plus your calls, dispatches, emails, texts, and more. Hey there, Sabrina.
Hello.
Hello, C-Lane.
What's happening?
And hello to you. You can join us on the show today. All you have to do is send us a dispatch. Go to thenewsjunkie.com and hit record on your first dispatch today. You can also watch the show on YouTube and twitch.tv/thenewsjunkie. Your message is rolling right to the studio in real time. How's everybody doing on a Thursday?
I'm good. A little confused.
What happened?
Well,
What'd I
all
do?
the things that you just said.
What did I say wrong?
Very upset because plans ruined.
I know, unbelievable.
Firefest, yeah.
Second one, I forgot. Third one, Haley is
Joel Osment
running at a ski
running
resort.
wild.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
I was, throwing things together here at the last minute. Couldn't decide what stories were important today.
I'm
quite
engaged.
Obviously. I sit here blown away.
No, guys, I'm actually engaged. She asked last night.
Congratulations!
Yay!
I thought it would never happen.
Okay. That was rude.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It didn't really happen, right? This is awkward.
No, it didn't really happen, but I guess we'll see. Bets are still on.
Firefest is canceled. I just can't really, I can't deal with this. I can't imagine that this is the truth.
That's what I wanted for my birthday.
Nobody would have ever seen this coming. It's not like in the next episode there were any vibes that this was going to be coming down the pipeline anytime soon.
I was hoping for at least a little closer to last year's debacle. Some more dueling documentaries.
Yeah. And it's
wait. What happened
awesome
to the guy? What happened to the guy who said he would do anything to keep Firefest
I
up and
don't
running?
think that he asked to be back for the second round.
Damn it, man.
The beacon of light came from the fact that Billy McFarland left jail.
Yep.
He was there because of Firefest 1. And he gets out and he's like, Firefest 2 is happening, y'all.
I would be floored to find out that there was anybody who was attached to Firefest 1 in any major way that was still going like, I believe in you this time, Billy. We're going to get it right. We're going to do it.
Wasn't it Ja Rule?
I want to get started. I want to get started with our clip here in just a moment. But
sure.
honestly, do you think Billy McFarland is he mentally ill? Do you think
It's the affluenza.
Is it sort of like
not affluenza? What's the thing that the
that's the rich people thing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, is this like the old lady that we talk about all the time who keeps going on airplanes when she's not supposed to?
She's dead now for sure.
The old lady, she would go to the airport and just sneak on an airplane, and then the judge would go, "Stop doing this," and she'd go, "I'm sorry, I'll never do it again.
I forgot.
I'll never go to the airport again." And then the next day, the old lady would sneak back on another flight and go somewhere else.
I forgot you said.
I feel like he's like that. I feel like that's Billy McFarland. But here we go. Let's put our ears to the ground, our fingers on the pulse. Let's see what's happening in this great big wide world of ours. And we go to the crosswalk.
I'm sorry?
The crosswalk.
Oh,
Yeah. We go to the
sound for
crosswalk.
that.
You don't have a sound effect for crosswalks? Jesus.
I will add that to the list.
It's kind of specific. I understand. Yeah. But we go to the crosswalk.
Walk.
This is crosswalks in Seattle, also Los Angeles, I think maybe
they're in
Miami.
every state.
No, there's a point that I'm getting to. It's a particular type of crosswalk, and all over the country they have been hacked.
This was real?
Yeah, it's real. Yeah, with a little message that plays when you hit the crosswalk button, and here it is.
Hi, I'm Jeff Bezos. This crosswalk is sponsored by Amazon Prime with an important message. Please don't tax the rich. Otherwise, all the other billionaires will move to Florida, too. Wouldn't it be terrible if all the rich people left Seattle or got Luigi?
I'm sorry. It's a crosswalk, so cars are actually moving right
but
now.
I heard it got Luigi'd?
Yeah, they're calling for the billionaires to get Luigi'd at the crosswalks now.
Are we talking Super Mario or?
I think they're talking about killing the billionaires at the
Now-
old crosswalks.
There's a thing that we bring up semi-regularly on the show when there's like a protest and the protest message gets muddled because it's a little too wordy.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to hack a crosswalk, make the message quick, man. People are trying to cross the street. I'm not trying to hear. I would have been gone before any of this Luigi talk.
It could have been like, hell no, life's not fair. Death to all the billionaires.
There we go.
Genius.
Okay, but you're still waiting to cross.
Oh, yeah,
That's
you're
the
kind of
whole
a
point of the
captive
button.
audience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you hit
depending
the
on how
button.
fast. Here's the thing. The truth is, nobody should be hitting these buttons. Half the crosswalk buttons don't work. They're just out there as a placebo
Have you
for
tried
you.
hitting it 45 times in a row?
You could sit there and
Then
go.
it does. And it does work.
Only some of them actually work. The rest, you're just a sucker. You're just sitting there hitting a button and it's not even connected to anything, and you're not going across the crosswalk. At least this one has a message. At least this has a message. And unlike the ones in our downtown, we have a couple in our downtown that I'm sure you guys are familiar with, where they're all set up for people who maybe can't see what's going on with the signs.
Blind?
And they're very loud.
Ding dong,
And they're like, 5 seconds to cross the road. And they're just screaming at you. This one is not nearly as loud. I can't hear it.
Here again.
Oh, I know who that guy is.
Hi, I'm Jeff Bezos. This crosswalk is sponsored by Amazon Prime.
So it's real. Actually, they hacked these crosswalk things.
I think the guy singing Jeffrey Bezos is the same TikTok dude that made the whole Nobody Likes Tucker Carlson song.
Oh, really?
Which
I wouldn't be
was
surprised.
a banger.
Yeah, I mean, they put these on all these signs. I'm imagining that they hacked them, and that's how they got these on all of the different crosswalks. But you might see
Bo
these.
Burnham?
Bo Burnham?
Oh, wait, it could be
Because
Bo
I have
Burnham.
I have a Bezos song, and
Let me
that
see.
it's from Bo.
That does sound
this-
like it.
Yeah, this
That's
sounds
not
like
who
it.
I was thinking
Okay,
of.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I can legally play.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's actually the same thing.
Oh, look at
So
me.
They put those together, and now if you go to crosswalks across the country until they fix them, you'll get a little anti-billionaire message from those folks, whoever is
Yay.
behind that.
Well, still, crosswalk plays is a good get for Bo Burnham. I mean, not that he needs the exposure, but it's a good get.
You kidding me? You think all three of us wouldn't be absolutely down if they said, hey, everybody that hits the crosswalk button, it's going to start the News Junkie podcast.
Sweet. Let's
Hell yeah.
go.
I mean, they're only going to hear like, hello and welcome to. They're not going to hear a lot of this show.
Oh, we're doing a really old podcast?
Yeah. There's nothing else we can send them, just the beginning of the
you
show.
know what? Promos. We'll hook up promos. You hit the button.
I'll just send them the sounders I have for you guys.
No, it's going to be that fart thing, and then nobody's going to even know
It's not
about
gonna
the
be the
show.
fart thing. It's
all right,
actually
what's going to
gonna
be
be
ready
worse for you.
I'm walking up to the
Hold
crosswalk
on,
right
hold
now.
on. All right.
Oh man, it's a tough day. Well, I guess I'll cross this road. Hit the button here.
I'm driving the golf cart, motherfucker. No.
I kind of like it. Yeah, I think people would be inquisitive, right? They'd go,
unclean dildos.
What is this guy talking about? What is he saying?
What's that?
Isn't there one about him at McDonald's or with hot dogs or something?
But
Apparently, having sex with a wiener dog is awesome.
that one?
That one, yeah. Dog related. That's what I was getting. Just all
doesn't sound
C-Lane
like something
sound
I've
bites.
said.
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately for you, it actually is.
I mean, I haven't gotten to your folder yet, Sean.
Leave it alone. There's nothing bad about me on the internet or elsewhere.
R. Kelly can urinate on me.
I was laughing.
Oh, boy.
So you know I didn't mean that one. Oh, come over here, little boy.
Didn't
You
hear
have
a
5
laugh
seconds.
there.
You have 5 seconds to play the one that I find to be the most hurtful and bothersome.
The
5.
pedophile one?
Okay.
Whose side are you on, C-Lane? What are you doing?
And it's not
She only has 5
pedophile.
seconds.
It's sex offender.
For me,
It's tough to be a sex offender.
I don't like that one. Yeah, that
No
one's not
one
my
does.
favorite. Fire
Especially
Festival
the
2
victims.
postponed. Organizers have announced in an email to ticket holders, which always blows my mind reading a sentence like that there were actually ticket holders. Like
I'm
some
so
people
curious. Who?
spent money to go to this. In fact, I had messaged somebody who said, just finally got a refund on my Firefest ticket. And I'm like, I want to talk to this person on the show just because they bought one to begin with.
I had hope. I feel like there was a a glimmer that said, it was so bad last time, they have to put on a good show this time.
Yeah. They couldn't screw it up twice, right? There's no shot that would happen.
But here's another option, though. If you were trying to at least, if you had the means, if you had like some FU money and you go, all right, I want to see if this thing really gets pulled off, but I'm not going to end up like those people on the bus. I'm not going to end up like these people locked in the airport. I am going to buy the Fyre Fest ticket, but I'm also going to have a boat. I'm going to have an Airbnb. Okay. I'm going to have backups for my backups so that I don't end up stranded. And then, maybe pick off a few stragglers that look like they want to party. And then I have my own
guys
fest.
Want to party?
If Fyre 2 doesn't go, doesn't go like they say it's going to go.
It does sound a bit. It sounds a bit costly, though, C-Lane. It sounds like that would be a little cost prohibitive if you tried to do it that way. But this way, you didn't get anything because the organizers have said the event has been postponed and a new date will be announced.
Okay.
We have issued you a refund, they said.
Postponed. So now you have to go and try to find a whole bunch of other... Did they figure out the permit, by the way? Because last time we talked about them, there was only allowed 12-hour listening parties.
Nothing is real. None of this is real.
Cool.
None of this is real. And now what they're going to do is they're going to say Fyre Festival 3. And here's where it's going to be.
Third time's the charm.
Third time's the charm. And some dumbass is going to go, yeah, and purchase the tickets to this event. It's going to happen at some point in time. All right, a couple emails real quick before we get started here on the show today. Excuse me. Tips at the news junkie. That's
a sign of good luck.
I got to stop having the Celsius before the show. I have to do it.
I'm sorry,
You've been
doing that again? What?
Yeah, and not a whole Celsius, but Courtney has a Celsius every morning to kind of zap her to it and wake her up. And I have
be
like
a fly
2
in
sips.
the wall of that house in the morning. You guys are just sprinting throughout the halls, right?
Wild around here, yeah. Got to stop doing that. Tips at thenewsjunkie.com. And Bruce emails the show. Bruce is not happy. Bruce says, I've been listening to you guys for several years.
All right, Bruce.
I finally realized you guys really are ignorant, says Bruce.
Here we go.
What's he mad about? Any guesses? Any guesses?
Was it based on yesterday's show?
I think this is just in general recently here. It's like a more recent general thing.
Is it a TV movie?
No.
Okay.
Is it Carmelo Anthony?
It is Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, yeah.
Well done, Point Ceiling.
Yeah, he says, I finally realized you guys really are ignorant. Criminalizing Carmelo Anthony and allowing Kyle Rittenhouse to go free is crazy.
Who's you guys?
Thinking they are two different circumstances is crazy. But hey, just keep putting your hands on people you don't know. And then he says, hashtag removed from number one. I'll tackle that separately here in just a second.
Talking about the preset?
Tackle that in just a second here. But first things first, I'm not ever going to win you over. Because if you think I'm going to be like, yeah, bro, you're right. Yeah, it was justified. This is totally... absolutely the same in every way as Kyle Rittenhouse. I won't self-retard like that. I will not bring myself to this place and do that. I'm going to be honest with you every single day, and I'm going to tell you, Bruce Wayne, if that is your real name.
Batman.
Be a son of a bitch if this really was Batman. Bruce Wayne, if that is your real name, I'm going to tell you, you are not a smart person. You're a quite dumb individual. And I can't bring myself to doing that. So hashtag removed from number one is brutal. I hate to hear that. We're going to get in big trouble for it. We may lose our jobs for you removing us from the iHeart preset. So what I'm going to ask is for everybody else who thinks that Bruce is wrong with his email this morning. I got faith in you. I got an idea of where the audience is out on stories like this, okay? Pretty good at predicting these things, I am. All right, so if you think that Bruce is wrong, who just removed us as the number one preset on his iHeartRadio app, I like you to fight that. I like you to go on your iHeartRadio app right now. Takes just a second of your time. It's totally free. And on the home screen on your iHeartRadio app, make this station, make the podcast for the News Junkie your number one preset on iHeartRadio. Or just any preset, right? Does it really matter? Does it matter if we're number 1 or 2 or 3 or what? Like, as long as we're on there.
Number 1.
Yeah, we're
It does?
number
Okay.
1. We need
All
to
right,
be
number 1.
Number
Put
1.
us number 1. Put us number 1. If you think that Bruce is dumb, saying that we shouldn't criminalize Carmelo Anthony, the guy who stabbed a track and field athlete in the heart with his knife
innocent till
for touching
proven
him.
guilty, okay?
I think he's guilty. I don't see any evidence that
You may
he's
think that.
innocent so
I'm
far. I
ready
don't
to see the trial.
I don't see any evidence. Well, how about we go off of what we know? And what we know is that she said, "Don't put your hands on me." Somebody maybe put their hands on him and he stabbed him. So that's where we're at. If you think that that's the death penalty, if somebody says, "Don't touch me," and you touch them, that's the death penalty. Go for it. That's not a great world you're going to be living in. Everybody killing everybody like the Spider-Man meme with people pointing at each other. If you think that person is dumb, go take a trip over to your iHeart app and put this station and the show on your presets right there on the home screen. Thank you very much, okay? Much appreciated.
I mean, some people are undecided. You could still have us at number 1 preset. I think everyone should just do it.
There is no undecided on a story like this at this point.
Oh,
I mean, it's just...
you were undecided earlier last week. The story broke.
No, I'm decided on the information that we have. The information that we have says this guy murdered somebody else because he thought he could. Don't see any other information to operate off of. I've said from the beginning, if there's more information that comes out, or they say like, hey, he was being targeted, he was being attacked, he felt like he was actually in danger, there was a reason to believe that, that's fine. Otherwise, your brain is mush, and you're just being dumb and racist. That's it. That's flat out it in a case like this. Sorry, it's just the way it is. So there you go. Thank you for the email. More coming in. We'll get to those in just a bit here on the show. We got to get to RFK Jr. Believe it or not, he's going to poke his head into the show here, and we'll see what he has to say. Also, there was a flight yesterday. Things did not go well on this flight, and it got so dramatic on board. We have to explore this together. It was wild, and it's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real Radio is on X at Real Radio 1041. Sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Have you been in an accident? Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
There's a couple accidents to look out for on State Road 436 near I-4. A crash on Florida's Turnpike northbound just south of Osceola Parkway off to the right shoulder there. There's stop-and-go traffic on I-4 through that Champions Gate area still. No major problems around the perimeter of I-4. Traffic is up to speed on the Greenway and State Road 429. If you see traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle, founder of Blindster.com. I started Blindster in 2010 to make quality, custom-made blinds affordable to everyone. Traditional window covering retailers are expensive. Our prices are low, and our blinds are guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
Spring is in the air, and that means it's time to search your ace off. The Jim Colbert Show has teamed up with Tools Ace Hardware and TK Law for the 2025 edition of our Big Green Egg Hunt. Starting Tuesday, April 15th, listen to The Jim Colbert Show for the clues on where in Central Florida you can find this hidden treasure. Your mission, should you decide to accept it, will be to decipher the poem and search your ace off. And the hidden treasure is a certificate for a big green egg with accessories courtesy of Tools Ace Hardware. And new this year, the prize will also include estate planning package courtesy of TK Law. Total prize value is over $3,800. Go to realradio.fm/ace for the poem with the clues and keep listening to The Jim Colbert Show weekdays at 3 p.m. for additional hints. Special thanks to Tools Ace Hardware and TK Law, onefirmforlife.com. This contest ends when someone finds our big green egg. Happy hunting!
Because we have lawyers in all 50 states, I see lots of lawyers' ads. Most seem to be bragging on results, but are they true or misleading? For example, in some cases, a firm may try a case even though the at-fault party has no lawyer, then brag in the ad about their results. My son Matt got one for nearly $50 million, but we never collected one dime. Some lawyers may say they got a result even though they were sitting second chair at a firm like mine, and even though they had little to do with it. Happens all the time. All that glitters is not gold. At Morgan & Morgan, our results are real. Visit forthepeople.com and go to settlements and
School mic activated. And I ask you this, folks in chat, I ask you this. Have you done your patriotic duty to make this station, Real Radio, in this case, Real Radio 104.1, a preset on your iHeartRadio app? Please do that. Take just a moment to do that. Let's move the needle a little bit, if you will. I know you might have been hearing the station talking about that, but like, I just never got around to it. Take a second. Make iHeart, not iHeart. Go on iHeart. Go on the iHeart app. And make WTKS, Real Radio 104.1, your preset on the home screen. It takes like a second. They monitor this stuff, and I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you for your service, kind friends. Bootsy says, done and done. Thank you, Bootsy. Artemis says, okay, but in the realm of dumb shit, I watched Greasy Strangler, and it's not in the top 25 of bad movies. Wow! I have to see your list of 25 top worst movies. You got through Greasy Strangler and you were like, that was quite a good film. Or do you like those kind of movies? Would be my question. Like, are you somebody who has an affinity for really weird movies, so Greasy Strangler was like right down the middle for you? Or are you just being a bullshit artist right now? Feral Kitten says it was good just in a bad way. I know, but like, and I know why it's like cult status, Greasy Strangler, but still, I would say definitely on a list of the top 25 worst movies I've ever seen. That's why it's a cult movie, like The Room or something. I think it's still bad. Big Dog Millionaire is confused. Or faking confused. Either way, it gives me a chance to plug again. Go to the iHeartRadio app and make Real Radio 104.1 a preset on your home screen. And it takes a second. Good for the station and for the show and for that asshole that sent me that email. Because that whole debate is getting frustrating. So it's attracting actual racists in hordes, which is, I guess expected. Austin! The Silent Coda says, I just made the News Junkie a preset, not the whole station. That's fine. They're tracking the whole station, though. I mean, I guess it would be really cool if we were just number one as a podcast, but do both. Do both. Real Radio, make it a preset on your iHeart app, and the News Junkie. Both of them. John says, we have nothing in Gainesville but pop music. Why? Buddy, it is 2025. You have everything you want and then some. You have a device in your pocket that can control the world. And you can take us with you wherever you go. In full HD. Gotta love it. All right, we're coming back right now.
On the new limited podcast series, Dub Dynasty, we hear from head coach Steve Kerr on how Steph Curry almost never even joined the Warriors.
In fact, I thought we had a draft day deal to end up getting him to Phoenix.
For the entire behind-the-scenes story of Golden State's incredible 10-year run, open your free iHeartRadio app, search Dub Dynasty, and listen now.
Real Radio has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, FUN. F-U-N, FUN. Enter it now on our website, realradio.fm. Good luck.
They're best friends, unless they're fighting. Are they fighting? It's the news.
It's fake. It has to be, right? Otherwise, it would be illegal, I think. We'll get into this in just a moment here on the show. And you can join us as well with your thoughts, your opinions. No matter what you think, you can email the show, tips@thenewsjunkie.com. If you want to be anonymous, put that right up on top on the email. If you want to send an audio or video dispatch, record yours on thenewsjunkie.com right now. Question for you, Sabrina and C-Lane. Not only do I think I know the answer, I think we're probably all pretty much on the same page on this one, which is kind of a rarity, that we all like completely agree on something here. But
all right.
Let's say you're at a restaurant, Sabrina, okay? And
I already disagree.
Maybe, it's not surprising, maybe at this restaurant something goes wrong, whether it's the service a little bit or like your food is not that good or like something about your experience is subpar at this restaurant.
Okay.
Which of the two things, choose from one of these two, which of the two things do you do? One, just sit there and realize what happened and not go back to that place because you didn't get a good experience. Or two, verbally complain to the server in the restaurant where you got this bad meal and this bad service. Yay. Do you complain or do you just go, I'll take the L on this and I'm just not coming back here because you guys didn't do a good job?
That is the latter is the likely outcome.
That you would complain?
No, I'm sorry. The former then.
Okay.
I would just write it out.
Same.
And then not go back.
Right.
I don't think that maybe less than a handful that there have been like such an egregious issue that I said something, but it's that conversation between me and the manager. I'm like,
do you want to avoid the confrontation,
Yes.
or do you just okay?
Yeah, do not care for it.
Right. I think most people are going to do that. Or like for me, I'm like I vote with my wallet. You know, like I like places. I go there. I spend money there, and where people are good to me, I try to be good to them, and that's just the way that I operate. I don't want to go like, actually, this wasn't very good, and like. I don't do that. I think a business like that lives and dies by people actually going there and spending money. C-Lane, would you complain or would you just go and not come back?
It really depends. It's a case-by-case thing. Like, I have ways of, like, correcting how something is wrong. Like, if we order a round of drinks, and it's very, very common for me, especially during, like, a brunch situation, where I will get an alcoholic drink and a Diet Coke, and the Coke never comes, and I just ask for it again in a nice way. And usually when I do, they're like, oh, yeah, that's right, I forgot. Or you know, if I ask for something and it's not quite right, I'll ask for it in a different way next time. But it also depends on how much I'm spending. Like, is this a very expensive place? Am I just going to ignore that something's wrong on a $30 to $50 dish?
Even on that, for me, I would just go, I've learned my lesson. I'm not coming back here. I wouldn't want to get hit with this. And this is what Courtney sent me. And I go, that can't be real.
Oh, this has been passed around a lot this week.
Have you seen this?
Yeah, I've seen it and I've heard it. Yeah.
I don't know if I have.
Here's the receipt that is in question on this particular story. And it shows that they have purchased multiple Miller Lights.
Bleeped out the word.
And one thing on this that stands out is there's a particular fee, a bitching fee, because this person complained about their experience at this restaurant. And when I saw that, I was like, can you legally just add rando fees to a receipt like this without...
Hey, it's your business.
Like, but you would have to tell them before. You would have to go, guess what? If you complain, it would have to be like on the menu, I think.
It probably
if you complain... then we're gonna hit you with a bitching fee. Otherwise, you can't just pop out fees and put them on the bill. I don't think you can do that.
I've seen viral stuff like this, not with the bitching fee, but everyone with their receipts afterwards, like, look at this fee that happened. There was some gal in Vegas who showed how she was charged for the bartender to just shake up the drink. And that was part of like the curating fee. Right. And they did not know that until after the bill, of course. Now, bitching fee is hilarious. And the way that it looks like it, from my service industry experience, that was a button in the POS system, which I love.
Bitching fee button, which the bitching fee is more expensive than a Miller Lite. That's kind of surprising to me. And here's an interesting dissent here. Laura on YouTube says, seriously, if something is wrong, let us know so we can fix it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very common answer, Sean. Like they would rather, they would rather give you the service that you want for the most part, especially if you're cool about it. They would rather have everything be correct than just you assume that they're always going to be incompetent and you never show up there again.
I hear them, I understand, but that's not how I operate. I go, don't make me correct you. You know what I mean? Like, you're going in with an expectation for almost anything that you pay for. And then you hope that that thing lives up to the expectation. If I go into your restaurant, I don't have really high expectations. I want you to be cordial, decent to me. I want you to have stuff that's fairly priced in some way, I guess. And then I want you to have something good, right? Like, I want to enjoy my time there and have some good service. So those are the things that most people, I think, are looking for. And if I don't get those, I don't want to sit down and be like, my burger wasn't cooking, this wasn't good. I don't want to do all those things. I don't feel like I should have to teach you about those things. I feel like we tried, you missed, I'm not coming back. Maybe in 12 months, I'll give it another shot. And then if you fool me twice, never coming back again, that sort of thing.
So the person claims, I ordered a Miller Lite and the server gave me a Bud Light. But since she had already opened the Bud Light while walking towards my table, she couldn't just swap it out. Well, she can.
Too bad. Yeah, that's their fault.
Yeah. She had to eat the Bud Light, meaning she had to pay for it. I don't
know. No, you
don't. The restaurant
give it
pays
to the
for
next person who's going to order a Bud Light.
Yeah, you can put it you can put it on ice. She said she had to eat the Bud Light, giving it to me for free, and then got me a Miller on top of it. Honestly, there wasn't any bitching involved, so I don't know what that was about. Now, it's kind of, you got to take that with a grain of salt when the person's like, I didn't bitch at all. Sometimes
you wouldn't get a bitching fee if you didn't bitch.
Kind of don't think that would be a thing.
I think this is crazy, and this person is never going back here again. This is the worst kind of thing you could do, because now even more people who haven't gone here before are like, I'm not going to that place. What the hell?
You have no clue what place this is right now, because they did not include the top of the receipt.
Oh, go to the comments. They found it.
Did they?
I'm sure.
Without a doubt found it.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody has. They find people, you don't screw with cats kind of thing. You get it. They find them fast.
I'm curious if they do have, like, many places have a sign that say, tabs left overnight will be automatically charged 20% gratuity.
Mm-hmm.
I think that covers them to, charge people 20% gratuity if they don't close out their tab before they leave.
A lot of people are disagreeing on this, actually.
Disagreeing on what?
I'm kind of surprised. Like Tanya says, a restaurant should want to know if the service or food was inadequate. And a bunch of people are saying, like, you should offer up this kind of criticism if this is the case. I'm not saying they're disagreeing with the woman in charge here, but they're saying, like, you should be telling them if something goes wrong, which sounds like that's where you are, Sealand. You're like, you should be offering up this. I don't want to have that interaction, though.
Yeah, neither do I. There's one thing with the food, and if they bring a Bud Light instead of a Miller, I mean, that could happen all the time. Was the place packed to the gills? Did they have 5 other tables? There is stuff to be considered, but there must be a reason why the button is there and it was added to that.
The bitch button? Yeah. And the place that added the bitch button is not going to get mad at the employee that hits the bitch button.
Is there a sign somewhere that says, listen, we charge a bitching fee if you're bitching?
We need
Put
to
this
know
on
more.
the Mo list.
I already did.
All right, there you go. Good. We'll ask Moses DeWitt, our attorney, when this comes in. Sea Witch says, I don't understand. There's no difference between Miller Lite and Bud Light. They both taste like ass. She made her decision, though. This is what she wanted. That's the drink she was going for. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about this flight gone wrong. Just an absolute disaster. People freaking out on board. Plus, these golfers that got into it that are in the news today, going viral. What happened with them? All that coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real radio is the Jim Colbert Show.
Today on the show, it's time for your third clue for the Search Your Ace Off contest. Plus, we'll do Date Night Done Right with Danny Myron. Our buddy Glenn Klausman stops by for Colbert Court. Tons of great prizes for trivia. And we'll end it up with You Heard It Here First, plus 4 opportunities for you to win $1,000 and your calls, texts, and talkbacks.
The Jim Colbert Show, today at 3 on Real Radio 104.1.
Good morning and happy Thursday. I'm Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Jessica Dobson with a check of your forecast. And for today, we're expecting plenty more sunshine. Highs today will be a little warmer than normal with a high of around 85 degrees today in Orlando. We have high pressure that continues to build in, and that's going to keep us quite dry over the course of not only today, but through the end of this week and into the weekend as well. Our next round of rain likely won't arrive until early to middle parts of next week. From the Fox 35 Storm Team, I'm meteorologist Jessica Dobson.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle, founder of Blindster.com. I started Blindster in 2010 to make quality, custom-made blinds affordable to everyone. Traditional window covering retailers are expensive. Our prices are low, and our blinds are guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
Folks, let me tell you about a great pro tip here. If you are getting ready for these warmer temperatures, the spring and summer temps, you need somebody to help you out if your AC is not doing what it should be doing, and that is keeping your house cool. Mills Air is a company that's going to come out to your house. They will be on time, as they always are, and they will look at your problem. They'll look at your AC. No matter what kind of AC you have, it doesn't matter. They're going to know what's going on, and they will promptly fix whatever the issue is, and nothing more. They are not going to hit you with some big, giant shock bill. They're going to explain everything up front. They've been doing business the right way for a long time at Mills Air. Their techs are the best of the best. These folks are very, very polite. They are very, very knowledgeable, and they are going to help you out. They're a Carrier factory authorized dealer, and they get you huge rebates if you need a new Carrier unit. You can always turn to the experts at Carrier, and you can always turn to family-owned and operated Mills Air. Their phone number is here, 407-277-1159. That's 407-277-1159, or find them online at millsair.com.
Future health, weight loss. Get access to weight loss meds like Ozempic, Zepbound, and pill options if you don't like injections from futurehealth.com. The meds eliminate hunger and cravings while Future Health handles the rest. Best results, best price. All online with no insurance needed. Join those losing 10 pounds in their first month. Visit futurehealth.com. Future without the E to start losing weight this week. Future health, weight loss. Data based on independent study sponsored by Future Health. Future Health is not a healthcare services provider. Meds are prescribed at provider's discretion.
Get an alarm clock. Kane's Super Saturday starts this Saturday at 10 a.m. One day only. Everything is on sale. Over $40 million in furniture.
The whole shebang.
Doors open at 10 a.m.
Kane's Super Saturday. Celebrate 30 years of Tijuana Flats epic meal deals. Now, you know them for Taco Tuesday. They've made every day special now. Get Dos Tacos, chips, and a drink for only $8.88 every day, only at Tijuana Flats.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 20% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
It's tax season. By now, we're all a bit tired of numbers, but here's one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number, $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed. Save up to 40% in your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit LifeLock.com. That's LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY. Terms apply.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Life looks pretty good behind the handlebars of a Harley, and that point of view is one that everyone agrees on. At Space Coast Harley-Davidson, we'd like to help you get some perspective on what's important. Right now, get 0% interest on select new 2024 Harley models. Get details at 866-826-9072 or spacecoastharley.com anytime. Ride the road and relax. Find your motorcycle and your soul at Space Coast Harley-Davidson.
Total Wireless is made to totally keep up with you. We have unlimited data that never slows you down, covered by the Verizon 5G network, and all for less than $30 a month when you get 4 lines. And the best part, we give you a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G when you switch to the 5G Unlimited or 5G Plus Unlimited plan. Visit your local Total Wireless store today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual speeds may vary by location. For data management practices, see TotalWireless.com.
At Rasmussen University, we offer a full suite of nursing programs from pre-licensure to doctoral, online and on campus. Programs vary by campus. Learn more at rasmussen.edu/Florida.
Filling you in on the shocking details. Just try not to pass out. This is the new.
It's the 3 best friends you never knew you had, going through the most viral stories of the day. That's what we do around here. And you can learn more about this show over at thenewsjunkie.com. You do not have to be an expert for this. I know. None of us on this show are what you might call a sports expert. It's not our forte, okay?
Speak for yourself.
I'm just going to get out ahead of it, Sabrina, okay? Because generally I start talking sports and then people are like, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like...
But then watch the sports and you'll see.
Have you ever played a round of golf, Sabrina?
Define golf.
Actual golf, out there on the course.
I've always wanted to. I've been to the driving range many a times. I played foot golf. I have.
That kind of counts. The driving range is like in the arena of golf. You're hitting balls, real golf style, I would think.
But I have not had the opportunity just yet to go to the 18 holes, as one says in the golf world. And I have always wanted to, but it turns out all my golf friends are like, this is a kind of a serious thing, so if you're gonna goof around, then...
Well, that kind of plays into where we're going on this. There's a reason we're talking about this, and I want to play a clip of a golf fight that went down in just a second. But, Celine, have you ever been actual golfing, a round of golf?
No.
All right, so nobody... I have. I've been many times, but you guys have not been golfing, but I still think you'll get this. What do you think... What is the number one reason why you think fights happen out on the golf course?
Taking too long.
Taking too long, says Celine. What do you say, Sabrina?
Hitting someone else's ball.
Taking too long is the correct answer.
Right,
that's it. Yeah, going too slow, taking too long. Everybody knew this. You know that when you go out on the golf course, the fights that start are over, hey, why are you going so slow? Why are you taking so long in front of us? And it's like thing number one that people on the course fight over. In this case, Canadian golfers got into a fight because one group said the other group was playing too slowly. Like, it had been building and building. Each hole's like, God!
Because you're right behind, just waiting.
Yeah, each time they would come up and they'd be waiting for him again.
Did they ask if they could play through?
I don't know if they did, but that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be like, all right, you guys are too slow.
Like,
Can we go around you?
If you have like some self-awareness out on the golf course and you know that your crew is taking a little bit longer, maybe because they absolutely suck at golf and they're doing too many strokes, or maybe you're just not here to whiz through this course and go do other stuff.
Around.
We're having a nice leisurely golf day.
Exactly. And you're
go around, number one. Either go around or like Sealand was just kind of saying there.
You say, hey, we're taking the slow route here. Why don't you guys play through this hole real quick so you can get ahead of us and we can take our time?
Exactly. Inviting the team that's constantly behind you to go past you is probably the smartest idea to get rid of any tensions there. That didn't happen here. Tension had been rising throughout the outing due to slow play, but it boiled over when the second group hit a ball too close to the first group. So they're like, you guys are right on our ass, and now you're hitting balls next to us. They called the Royal Canadian Mounted Police over this thing.
The Mounties?
They called the Mounties out, and somebody recorded the whole incident.
What's this about?
What a dumb old man fight this is. All I see is old dudes on a golf course, every one of them with hats on.
Surprise, surprise.
Sitting around playing white guy Canadian golf and getting into a fight. And here's what went down.
He's up our all day. Don't you push me.
Oh.
You pushed me first. You got one back. One back. Oh, you want to push me?
Oh, and
you
the
are
one
grown
lady.
men.
But the one wife who finally got invited to the boys' golf outing with the knee brace.
Did you hear where it started to sound Canadian for a second there? Like one guy's like, "Whoa, you want to push me?" Eh?
He goes, one push is a push back, and then he shoves him back, and we're fighting on the golf course. Come on, man. We're adults.
He's up our all day. Don't you push me. You pushed me first. You got one back.
You got one back.
Oh, you want to push me? Come on, man.
Stop it, you guys.
Bring it up, buddy.
This is retarded. But you could hear the smile in her voice.
Canadian camera lady, the only one.
She captures every moment.
The women are the only ones in the right here, guys. Okay?
Thank you.
The woman who's like, guys, stop it. What are you doing? What are you doing? And the woman who's filming this, like, what is happening here?
Mind you, there's 4 other grown men who could stop, and they're just like, who's doing what? He did push.
They all want to fight. Yeah, they're all like hyped up.
Well, guess what? You're not at the age where fighting is not going to hurt you for the next 2 months. You're going to be
exactly.
sore.
It's so dumb. You're sitting out there on the golf course. Like anybody in the middle of this could go, guys, do we want to be rocking black eyes at our Easter dinner? Do we really want to roll around on the grass and fight here, swinging golf clubs at each other? What's going on? Guys, men let me down in situations like this too often. We have to have bigger brains in this. We have to be able to go, hey, maybe this woman's right. We shouldn't be fighting on a golf course because we're all in our 40s and 50s. Maybe we should think beyond this, perhaps. But no, it's like, rage. Oh, they're punching. It's a slugfest. Oh, he's taking off his shirt.
Oh, my God, you're ridiculous.
You can stop
it. Oh, God.
You gotta
Can
lay
I
it
tell
out.
you how adrenaline may be rushing, but gentlemen, y'all look so dumb.
They
This
do.
is not a cool fight at all.
Yeah, like I see a street fight every once in a while, and these two guys will square up, and they'll be, go, yeah, okay. This is a bunch of guys just
idiots
swinging their arms around as best they
But
can.
still ripped off his shirt.
Like a hockey
I think
player.
one guy ripped off the other guy's shirt or something.
He did.
Well,
yeah.
in that case, I hope they start kissing a little bit.
One guy pulled off the other guy's shirt like it's a hockey match.
That only happens when women fight.
Step in, Justin.
I had to dump that.
Oh, did you? Okay. They're cursing a lot.
It was kind of an automatic thing.
No, it's okay. It's all right. Yeah, there was one that kind of
His
squeaked
hand away
through.
here.
There's one that squeaked through the sensors there. These guys just absolutely slugfesting it on
It's so embarrassing, but
It is,
very entertaining to watch.
I don't know why people do this over dumb stuff. Over big stuff, you should be fighting. Like if there's something big and mega important.
Like what?
Let's say somebody is like abusing your child. Fight that person. Do something about it. Let's say somebody is bullying you. Fight that person. Stand up for yourself. There's reasons to do this, but guys tend to do it for the dumbest things.
Yeah.
Road rage. Somebody honked at you in the grocery store parking lot. Somebody is going too slow on the golf course. Guys, we got to have a higher gate here for when we decide it's fight time. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you think golf course fights are worth it. Fighting as an adult is worth it. Maybe you've done this recently. Let us know. Send us a dispatch. Go to thenewsjunkie.com. Hit record on your first dispatch right now. Man, it's a little embarrassing, honestly, to get into that. But there you go. Let's talk about this flight from Orlando to Puerto Rico.
Damn it.
And short enough flight, an easy time for most folks.
How long's that flight?
Frontier Airlines, Orlando to Puerto Rico, 2.5 hours. That's not too bad. And that's where these folks were going on Frontier Airlines. Now, I guess the pilot says to everybody, we've got a emergency on board, and we're going to be landing. And some of these folks were God-fearing Puerto Ricans. And a lot of Puerto Ricans believe in God, very faithful.
I'm feeling Puerto Rican.
They're on the flight, and they start praying. Everybody's praying. Everybody's saying, well, this is an emergency. What's going to go on here? The incident was a scary one, with one passenger saying people on board were saying their final goodbyes before landing.
Terrifying.
Like, they're talking to the person next to him going, I loved you. I've always loved you. I just want you to know how I feel about you.
That person's like, who is this again?
People are crying on board. It's a whole thing. And when the plane goes to land, it hits the runway really hard. Something flies off the plane, and the pilot is able to put things down. But the FAA is looking into exactly what happened here. But those folks, there was a whole plane full of people that thought this was the end. They thought they were done for.
Flight attendants are like, brace, heads between your knees, brace. Yeah. And I've seen those videos before where someone's like, I don't know how you're even remembering to tape it. Also, tape. And while everyone is thinking it's the last moment of their lives, but it would give me so much anxiety to just think those are the last words I'm going to hear if this goes down.
I tell you what bothers me, Sabrina, is I think if I'm on the flight and I'm next to Courtney or somebody I care about, and I knew it was going to happen. If I'm on the plane next to you, Sabrina, I don't know that we're talking with each other.
I think we'll hug for the 5th time in our knowing each other.
We'll do a fist bump and we'll be like, look, this is why we were both afraid of flying the whole time.
I think the hug would be after you survive it.
Yeah, definitely. Big hug if after a survival, for sure.
No, we would just be breaking into the mini bottles.
But I would be afraid, for real, that I would be so anxious about what was happening on the flight that I wouldn't be able to say any potential last goodbyes. Like, I think Courtney would be going, I love you. I hope everything goes okay. I just want you to know that I care about you so much. And then I'd be like, I can't talk right
welcome.
now.
How am I going to talk about this on the show? Do I send a dispatch?
I can't talk. It's like when turbulence gets really bad, she'll look at me and she'll be like, are you okay? Is everything okay? And I'll be like, just don't talk to me.
Oh.
Leave me alone for a little while. I have to stare at the ceiling and control my breathing and go into full loser mode here, and I'm scared.
I had a different word for it, but it's cool.
Oh, wow. What's your word, buddy, huh?
Okay.
Pussy mode.
Yeah, guess what? That's why if you and I are on a flight and it's going down, I ain't saying nothing to you.
Well, neither is C-Lane to you. He's probably having a nice nap.
I know you're right. He's just chilling, not a worry in the world. He sips on his Bloody Mary one
shampoo
more
bottle.
time. And he goes, whatever happens, happens. I'm Sea-Land. I don't worry about anything.
Can't do anything about it.
That's true, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that it's rational.
Brace.
I mean, maybe it is rational, and I'm just irrational in the moment. I don't think I can get that out.
No part of you would want to take out your phone and get some footage?
No.
What I would be doing is whatever, I guess maybe making sure my pants are on tight enough, because I don't want to be that corpse without pants and shoes on.
And you know what? That's so true.
Happens all the time.
There was that flight not that long ago that crashed, and all the people's pants and their shoes.
They're still right in the seat.
Yeah, it just pulled some of them right out. It's unbelievable. But anyways, they were able to get their final goodbyes.
That was a really light conversation.
Would you be able to do it? Do you think you'd be able to do it if you were in that position, or would you be too scared to even get your final goodbyes in? Let us know. Send us a dispatch at thenewsjunkie.com right now. When we come back, Rachel says, Sean's manliness turns me on. Rachel, sometimes I'm tough. I promise. It's not on a plane, all right? It is not on a plane in that moment that I can do that. We want to get to you and your dispatches. Those are incoming, and we'll talk about that here on the show in just a moment. Also, there's more SNL drama that we got to get into. RFK Jr. is going to pop in. We got a whole bunch on the way, and it's all coming up next on the News Junkie.
Your chance to win $1,000 in your hand is minutes away on Real Radio 104.1. Brought to you by Mills Air.
Keep an eye out for car stops on the shoulder on I-4 eastbound before Florida's Turnpike. There's congestion at the ramp junction where Florida's Turnpike meets the beach line. Stop and go traffic on I-4 before US 27 and after. State Road 429. Look out for an accident on State Road 436 northbound at I-4. Move over and slow down if you see police activity on the roadways. And if you see traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change traffic tip line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Looking for affordable blinds, shades, or shutters for your home? Don't hire an expensive pro. Check out Blindster.com, where we offer custom-made window coverings at guaranteed low prices with a team of pros ready to help you every step of the way. Blindster.com.
Yeah, we're not even going to pretend. This is a straight-up bribe. We're talking $1,000 in your hand. Use the cash to pay off that credit card you forgot about. Take a trip. Or buy some indica-dominant hybrid known for its body-numbing effects. Because weed is legal in Florida, right? Anyway, bottom line, we want you to listen to Real Radio, and you want money. So here's the deal. 13 keywords a day. Enter them at realradio.fm. And here is the important part. Answer your phone if we call. We're shameless. You're broke. Let's do this. This national contest brought to you locally by Mills Air.
Mills Air, been in business since 1992. That's over 30 years. Carrier factory authorized dealer. Rebates up to $1,275 for brand new Carrier units. Turn to the experts. Carrier. And you can always turn to the experts at millsair.com.
If you're thinking about going to nursing school but aren't sure how to get started, join us at Galen College of Nursing's upcoming open house. Here, you'll meet with friendly and helpful faculty, current students, and academic advisors who can help you get comfortable with admissions and enrollment. Plus, you'll tour our campus and learn all about Galen's personalized student support. RSVP now for our open house on Tuesday, April 22nd from 4 to 6 p.m. by visiting galenccollege.edu/Orlando.
Why go to just another sports bar when you can...
Go mic on. Hello, hello, hello. How are we today? How's everything going? Hope you're hanging in there on a Thursday. We're almost to the weekend. We'll be there before you know it. Now, I hope you have made the station, WTKS, Real Radio 104.1, please, a preset on your home screen to replace the guy who's definitely not listening anymore. Definitely never going to listen to the show anymore. Definitely not tuning in. I love when people say that. That is, if you send me an email and you're like, I am never listening to the show again, I'm 100% positive you are the most glued in listener that we have for that day. That's the way it works. First your dissent gets heard, and then if you like that and you like the attention and you keep sending in emails and stuff like that because you want more attention in a bad way, then you just disappear. Because I probably block your email or don't see you wherever you are because that's weirdo behavior. By the way, we were talking about The Woman in the Yard yesterday on the stream. The new movie just released. Well, it's been on theaters, but now it's on demand. The Woman in the Yard. And we actually watched it last night. And I thought it was pretty good, actually. I didn't think it was too bad. I know people have taken issue with it because of some of the plot stuff that I don't want to spoil that's in the movie. But I didn't really have an issue with it. I thought it was a low budget movie that they made the most of, and that this woman, the plot is a woman just shows up on these people's front lawn and she says, "It's time. The time has come." And they made that spooky as hell. The lady just sitting in a chair in a front yard with the wind kind of blowing this outfit that she's wearing. They took a tiny little budget and made that pretty scary, honestly. I did not think it was too bad. There's subject matter in it that is, suicide related that people take issue with. But, I mean, aren't scary movies full of stuff like that anyways? If it's not suicide, it's homicide, and it's something else that's terrible. That's where we get the fears from. That's where we get scary stuff from. But the silhouette of that woman in the yard on the chair it was freaky. Janine says, "Did you see Drop yet? I might go today." Still haven't seen that. Definitely want to, though. Drop is the perfect example of a movie that I'm 100% going for the plot. I don't know any of the actors in it. I'm not buying a ticket for any reason other than I go, that's an interesting plot. The idea that somebody sends like a drop message to your phone and it's starting to threaten you that if you don't follow their instructions, they're going to kill you, and then you just get inundated by a mystery person. I like it. It's been done before a couple of times, but I like it. So I'm going to see that one. All right, we're coming back. Here we go.
Injured or defective tissues and organs to help treat people with chronic medical conditions. We're making more possible at Mayo Clinic because every day we're doing what's never been done. Learn more at mayoclinic.org/possible. Mayo Clinic, you know where to go.
If you want your windows there in weeks, pick up the phone and just text Reese.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Coming to you live from the JustCallMo.com studios. Accidents happen, but Mo's here to help. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. Visit JustCallMo.com or call 1-800-CALL-MO. This is WTKS-FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. An iHeart radio station. Make us the #1 preset on your car radio and on the free new and improved iHeart radio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
Real Radio has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, CASH, C-A-S-H, CASH. Enter it now on our website at realradio.fm and answer your phone if you get the call. Good luck.
Documenting and contributing to the decline in American culture. This
You can email the show at any time. Tips at thenewsjunkie.com. TIPS at thenewsjunkie.com. We appreciate your feedback and your dispatches. We'll get to those in a moment. Tips at thenewsjunkie.com. And Mark emails. He says, Sean, done and done. I made the radio station the #1 preset on my iHeartRadio app. And I made the News Junkie podcast the #2 preset on the app. There you go. He says, sometimes you just have to accept the fact that you can't fix stupid. Love you guys, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. And if you want to support the show with very little effort, you could just make this station a preset on your iHeartRadio app on the home screen and the News Junkie podcast as well, just like Mark. All right, let's talk about, I've seen this going for quite a few days now, but what is the situation that we find ourselves in with this Amy Lou Wood woman? Is it that people just keep asking her questions about her looks, or is that she's like leading with this whole I'm a victim, people are making fun of me too much thing? I don't know which one of those is true here in the case of this lady.
I can say with confidence that she has been asked about her look and people's reaction to the look with all of the late night tours and the
Everybody
daytime
she's
talk
talking to?
shows. and has met it with grace and humor. And then I can understand where enough was enough on her end. Where, we got it. Everyone, we got the emojis, got the memes, got now SNL talking about it 2 weeks after the finale of the season.
If you don't know who this woman is, Amy Lou Wood is her name, and she's the woman with like a tooth thing overbite. She's on White Lotus season 3, and she had a performance that stood out, and people have kind of connected with it. And she has a very unique look because she has this big overbite, and she hasn't done anything like all the other celebrities to get rid of it. But SNL mocked her, and then she said, this is mean and unfunny, and you shouldn't do this. And then
she kind of was a little back and forth. She called the skit mean and unfunny, and then said that there must be a cleverer, more nuanced, less cheap way to pull that off. But then she's like, I'm not thin-skinned. I love, being made fun of when it's clever and in good spirits.
Well, then what's the problem? Was the problem that it wasn't funny? Or, because the actress who is playing her part, if we want to tackle that issue in particular,
Sarah Sherman,
she had a thing that like made her teeth stand out a little bit more.
Yeah, prosthetic.
But isn't that literally what they do for every single person that they impersonate on SNL? You exaggerate the person's features.
I just think, yes, they do, but it was cheap. Or lazy joke.
She said the joke was about fluoride. I have big gap teeth, not bad teeth. I don't mind caricature. I understand that's what SNL is, but the rest of the skit was punching up, and I was the only one punched down on.
So she's going at the content of the sketch as opposed to like them just using an exaggerated version of hers. I would hope so, because SNL literally just takes the most the most obvious feature that you have and makes it stand out. You should have seen back in the day, kids, what they would do to Ross Perot. The Ross Perot characters were his ears got larger and larger and larger every time they would do a skit about this guy who used to run for president now and again. And now, if you end up on the White Lotus, whether it's Trump or Biden or any public figure that you can think of, they just exaggerate the features that you have. It's kind of what they do. But I started seeing these stories after this.
Okay, could you imagine if Sarah Sherman had played her and they didn't do anything with the teeth?
It wouldn't make any sense. It wouldn't stand out, you know? It wouldn't be
You might not even know it's her.
No, I don't think so. And you could end up doing these skits and then people aren't like landing with them because it's not obvious who you're making fun of. It's kind of a trap in a way. But then afterwards I saw like every story about this woman was woe is me. They're making fun of me. And initially I thought like, God, get off the victim stuff for God's sake.
She posted about it. I think that a lot of outlets are running with and want to take the stance of woe is me, but I think she had just added it to her story.
Right. Here's what I imagined afterwards. Like when I judged her and I go, quit whining. You're an attractive woman and this is really working in your favor. Stop being a victim all the time. Then I thought, isn't it possible that every single interview they ask her about all sorts of stuff? What do you think about this? What's it like? What's White Lotus? Blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of the interview, they get the question in and they go, what do you think about SNL making fun of your teeth?
Well, also hold on there, because what if as an interviewer you go, hey, I got Amy Lou Wood coming on, and it really seems kind of like it would be an inappropriate thing to mention her teeth. However, SNL does this, and it really gives you kind of the in to bring it up without seeming insensitive. Because before this, would Amy Lou Wood be talking about her teeth in interviews?
She was.
She might have been talking about it, but I don't think she was talking about it from the perspective of like, woe is me, they're making fun of me and they're being mean to me. And then like I'm looking at the Newswire for her name, Amy Lou Wood from White Lotus, and it's the BBC. Comedians weigh in on Saturday Night Live skit. Amy Lou Wood receives flowers after being slammed for the SNL bit. She talks about how she's criticizing SNL for the mean sketch in the New York Times, and on and on and on. It goes all these stories. But I feel like these media outlets might just be asking all these other questions, and then the one story that they do a write-up on, like the BBC, for example, is about the SNL skit. And then so I watch, and I'm like, you're getting annoying. But maybe it's not actually her fault. Maybe it's just that, like, what if she didn't answer the question, then that might be bad too. She's just kind of in a spot where people aren't going to like you because of the whole setup that happens here. There's no real win. But now there's a whole article about that, on the BBC, where they say it all began with 5 minutes on NBC for Saturday Night Live. And maybe she should just bask in it, though, because people talking about you at this point in your career is a good thing all the way around. What do you think? Let us know. Send us a dispatch. Go to thenewsjunkie.com. Hit record on your first dispatch right now.
I'm sure SNL's loving the attention. They got first. They have
I apologize, this. I thought
fake. They're saying she said she had some apologies from SNL. I've had apologies from SNL, and then there was a New York Post article that said SNL hasn't formally apologized to her. I don't know what do they have to send it on letterhead? Yeah, but
ladies and gentlemen,
but between that stupid fake Morgan Wallen thing and this, they're SNL just finding ways to keep getting talked about. So for Lauren, this is probably great.
It's also weird to ask people questions like this. Like, imagine if they just asked people questions about their worst physical trait in every interview. Like, you sit down and they go, not much of a chin on you, is there? Or, geez, your teeth are completely jacked up. Or, your hair is just non-existent on top of your head. If they did something like this without the SNL bit in front of it, it would be seen as very, very weird. I think that's what Celine was talking about earlier.
It gives any interviewer who would normally be either too respectful or too afraid to bring something like that up. It gives them the excuse to go, hey, SNL kind of called you fat. What are we thinking?
What do you think, fatty?
Yeah.
What's your thought on this?
Instead of, hey, I've noticed that you've gained 60 pounds over the past year. And that now it's not you saying the thing, it's somebody else saying the thing.
Snoop Frog on YouTube says, just another woke actor. But is she? The question I'm asking is it's not her fault if people keep asking her the stupid question over and over and over again.
This at all?
Yeah, I don't think you're looking at it. That's why I was saying I had to question myself because I started to go, damn, she's annoying. Like, just keeping coming out with this stuff. But it might not be her fault if people are asking to interview her, and then the only story they do a write up about is that. You understand what I'm saying?
Talk about something else.
Like, if they just said, White Lotus star talks about how amazing it was to film the show, or what she didn't like about the ending, or like anything else would have flown. But
if
the
she
news outlets
were to address her rumored drama with Goggins, Walton Goggins, then maybe that would make a headline. But right under it would be like, but her teeth, guys.
The only way he's in the headline with her is his reaction to the same damn thing. Maynard said she knew what she was getting into when she wanted to become famous. She owns a mirror, he says. Had it coming, I guess. That's the way it goes. What do you think? Let us know. Send us a dispatch over to thenewsjunkie.com. Lots of folks reaching out to the show today, as always, and that's very much appreciated. RFK Jr.'s out there. He's talking about autism, and he's saying that autism now affects 1 in 31 8-year-olds. So very specific.
Wasn't it
stat.
33 a few
I guess it's down. We're down too. Well, autism now affects 1 in 31 8-year-olds in the United States. Let's see what he said at this hearing where he was talking about this.
The prevalence rate in 8-year-olds is now 1 in 31. Shocking.
1 in 31.
Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. pointed to new evidence that the U.S. is seeing, in his words, a growing epidemic of autism.
The epidemic is real.
CDC data shows 1 out of 31 children has been identified with autism. The previous report 2 years earlier found a rate of 1 in 36.
I always find this interesting. And we've seen this with ADHD, too. I don't know if you guys saw this. It was actually very interesting. There was an article in the New York Times about ADHD last week, I think. And it was like, ADHD, have we gotten it all wrong? And they talk about young boys and teenage boys. They had a particular age group, like between 12 and 16 or so. And they said 65% of them have been diagnosed with ADHD.
Nice.
And it's like 65%.
And medicated based on that diagnosis?
Not all of them, but they meet the qualifications for what we consider ADHD. And so bring that over to this autism thing. And they say, well, in 2020, the autism rate for 8-year-olds was 1 in 36. In 2022, it was 1 in 31. If you go back to the 90s, probably, 1 in whatever, and it would be much less prevalent or common back then. And there's two ways to take that in. One is to say, damn, something's happening and there's more autistic people popping up all over the place. Two, which I think is the more logical reasoning here, is that we have gotten so good at screening people for this stuff, and we've opened the window of what we determined to be ADHD or autism so wide that we now encompass 1 in 31 people, right? Like, so you could say...
They've done a lot more studies and research, though. Wouldn't that come into play at all? Like, we've have a lot more information on autism and ADHD than we did in the 90s.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, I'm on a different track here. What I'm saying is, there's two ways to look at it. You can either go, we have more autistic people now, or we're identifying more autistic people right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, don't feel
Sorry,
any
I got
comfort
distracted. I have ADHD.
From that reaction, but I feel like we're just diagnosing more people from this. Like, you could go back to the 50s and say people weren't as depressed, and now depression rates are so much higher. Are they more depressed? Or are we just identifying more people with a new set of standards?
I've had the same kind of question about student-teacher relationships. Like, they seem to be, since we started our show, just soaring in numbers. And I go, well, are more people just finding out about them, or are more of them happening? I mean, sure, some of them are copycats. I'm sure there are some young boys that hear the news and go,
true.
Wait, that's an option?
I didn't know we could do this.
Because Miss Math teacher's looking pretty hot lately.
Right. Yeah. The idea is always like, hey, there's something happening here and it's making more people autistic. And I would say the people when I was a child who were defined as autistic were very extreme on the autism spectrum. It was very clear that they had this issue with them. Now there's a 17-year-old girl who's like, I'm totally autistic, and just being an autistic person, here's how I get through my life with the fidget spinner. And you go, have we really found that more people are autistic, or are we just using this term to broaden the categorization here? And that, to me, seems like what we probably have going on. But let us know what you think. And I know RFK Jr. just absolutely doesn't believe in that. He thinks there's like something in the environment that is causing more autistic children. That too. Right. They blame it on mold, ultrasounds, obesity, diabetes. That's what they think is causing
Stay at
this.
home, no autism.
I don't think that that's the case, but maybe you do. Let us know. Send a dispatch over at thenewsjunkie.com. Okay, let's see here. Let's work in maybe our first one or two dispatches to kick things off here. Here goes Twink, who's talking about Amy Lou Wood from White Lotus.
Hey, junkies. So the thing about the SNL skit and Amy Lou Wood was what was called White POTUS. So it was making fun of the Trump administration, and they had essentially replaced the characters in White Lotus with various Trump family members, like Ivanka and
the Don Jr. and the other Trump kid making the smoothies was kind of a funny bit.
It's a funny idea for a bit. Honestly, I didn't even know that was the premise until now.
Donald, the guy that plays Donald Trump as Donald Trump, was supposed to be the father who, was considering sewer slide at some point during the show. But I didn't think that his character was like the major shining star of that skit, which usually when they do Trump stuff and it's him doing it, he does a really good job. But I just think overall the parts that were the funniest weren't him.
Yeah, they said she wasn't really even in it that much. That's what Twink
barely
that it says in this dispatch. It goes on for a while. I'll have to cut you off there, but you can join us with your thoughts. Send a dispatch. Go to The News Junkie right now. Eddie on YouTube.
Sorry, Twingletters, I talked through all your time. I just ruined you. I apologize.
No. He was babbling. I could see in the transcript at the end, he says, sorry for the long dispatch. Thank you. I'm out. So Eddie says, the White POTUS skit was funny till it got too long. I'll have to watch. Now, that was actually driving me to want to watch it because that is kind of a funny idea. It's a clever way to work two things into each other.
I don't remember this previous one, but I do follow the SNL subreddit. And so somebody was like, all right, now that they've done this, which one was better, White POTUS or Black Lotus? And I was like, I don't remember Black Lotus. Now I want to go back and watch that.
Lotus? Black Lotus is a super funny idea, actually. The White Lotus has given them a lot of content here. Good for them. All right, we're going to hear from more of you momentarily on the show. We'll see what you think about all of this. When we come back, though, we got to talk about some parents that are absolutely struggling right now. But do they really have something to complain about? We'll find out. That's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real Radio. It is.
The Monsters in the Morning.
You gotta get it that caper, and the caper's basically like a telephone pole, right? And you gotta get that thing straight up. If you get it straight up and get your fingers under it, I know I can lift it, but I just can't get it
What's
up.
wrong with you describing this right? The Monsters in the Morning.
Real Radio 104.1.
From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
Keep an eye out for a car stopped on the shoulder on I-4 eastbound before Florida's Turnpike. There's stop-and-go traffic on I-4 eastbound before US 27 and after State Road 429. Look out for a disabled vehicle on the shoulder on the Beach Line eastbound approaching Narcoossee Road. There's congestion at the ramp junction where Florida's Turnpike meets the Beach Line. If you see traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change traffic tip line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Looking for affordable blinds, shades, or shutters for your home? Don't hire an expensive pro. Check out Blindster.com, where we offer custom-made window coverings at guaranteed low prices with a team of pros ready to help you every step of the way. Blindster.com.
Hurricane season is right around the corner, so it's time to get started on protecting your home. Get factory direct custom-made impact windows installed from my friends at Reese Windows and Doors. They've been installing affordable, high-quality impact windows for over 50 years, and they do it all over the state of Florida. They are experts, and at Reese, most impact windows are installed in just 6 to 8 weeks, and you can win them for free now. How do you do that? You say, hey, you pick up your phone, text the word WOW to 20129. That'll get you your chance to win $15,000 in new impact windows from Reese Windows and Doors. Text WOW to 20129.
Sunnyside drains.
Water is backing up from my drains, and there's a nasty smell coming from them.
Ooh, wait, that is bad.
Wait, how are you smelling it too?
You should call someone about that.
I should have called Frank Gay. I'm calling Frank Gay.
When your drains are backed up, you need a highly skilled technician who's not afraid to get a little dirty. That's the Frank Gay way.
That's the Frank Gay way.
FrankGayServices.com.
Randy Rainbow, National Freakin' Treasure Tour.
Democracy.
Saturday, October 25th at Hard Rock Live Orlando. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster and Hard Rock Live box office.
Hey, it's that mortgage guy, Don. Good news, commercial and SBA loan rates are falling too. Get a quote to refinance your business loan today at thatmortgageguyDon.com.
Why go to just another sports bar when you can go to Crush Yard? The food, amazing. The drinks, top shelf. Craft beers, a gajillion of them. And then the big surprise, pickleball, all indoor on pristine new courts. So that's it, right? Wrong, because we've also got ping pong, cornhole, and a full arcade for the kids. So, Kissimmee, when the temps rise, cool off with the best food, games, and fun at the hottest new spot in town. Visit crushyard.com and follow us on social for details. See you down at the yard.
Allergies are torture, but Exact from Aspire Allergy and Sinus can help you beat your allergies for good. Exact is clinically proven to give long-term lasting allergy relief in 3 injections. That's right, allergy relief in 3 injections. No matter how long you've suffered, no matter what else you've tried, with 3 injections, you can experience relief from your allergies. Exact from Aspire Allergy and Sinus. Go to aspireallergy.com to book your appointment today. Aspire Allergy riskiallergy.com.
Everybody, Jim Colbert here. Look, everybody knows Florida is one of the rainiest states out there with some of the most unpredictable weather offered in the U.S. And when it comes to replacing your roof, it's time to step it up with Eustace Roofing, 2021's National Roofing Company of the Year. These guys have been your trusted roofing neighbors since 1959. That's 65 years of experience. They serve all of Central Florida, and they are metal roofing experts manufactured on site for perfect fit. No interest financing is available. Visit eustaceroofing.com to schedule your free estimate.
If you're thinking about going to nursing school but aren't sure how to get started, join us at Galen College of Nursing's upcoming open house. Here, you'll meet with friendly and helpful faculty, current students, and academic advisors who can help you get comfortable with admissions and enrollment. Plus, you'll tour our campus and learn all about Galen's personalized student support. RSVP now for our open house on Tuesday, April 22nd from 4 to 6 p.m. by visiting galencollege.edu/Orlando.
Get an alarm clock. Kane Super Saturday starts this Saturday at 10 a.m. One day only. Everything is on sale. Over $40 million in furniture.
The whole shebang.
Doors open at 10 a.m.
Kane's Super Saturday.
Celebrate 30 years of Tijuana Flats epic meal deals. Now, you know them for Taco Tuesday. They've made every day special now. Get Dos Tacos, chips, and a drink for only $8.88 every day, only at Tijuana Flats.
The free iHeartRadio app just made spring break and Easter holiday travel better for the whole family. Sing along with playlists like Disney hits.
Can I get a
Dance to today's pop hits on Hit Nation Jr. And learn something new with podcasts like Wow in the World.
Scientists were working on self-driving cars in 1939.
iHeartRadio, because every family road trip deserves a great soundtrack. Open the iHeartRadio app, search family, and listen now.
Get 0% APR financing and no tariffs at Sutherland Nissan Orlando, OrlandoNissan.com.
Real Radio has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, CASH. C-A-S-H. Cash. Enter it now on our website at realradio.fm and answer your phone if you get the call. Good luck.
On the bright side, we're not dead yet. You're listening to the news.
And everything else, joining us on the show on a lovely Thursday. Thanks wherever you're listening. We appreciate you being along for the ride. And there's a lot going on today. I saw just moments ago, this is every parent's, I think, worst nightmare, hearing that there's an active shooter on campus where your kids are going. And a lot of you out there might have kids at FSU. And I've seen a bunch of people talking about something going on there in the last 15 to 20 minutes or so.
Great.
And you know what's good? The good thing is this. It seems like these schools, especially colleges, have a really good system nowadays of alerting all of the students when something has gone wrong. Because every student has a phone and you can blast out these alerts to everybody. And then nobody's wandering their way into some dangerous situation. But FSU Alert says an active shooter has been reported in the area of Student Union. Police are on scene or on the way. Continue to seek shelter and await further instructions. Lock and stay away from all doors and windows and be prepared to take additional protective measures, said the original alert. I've heard there's a couple of crazy things that happen. When they go into a lockdown like this, I've heard that they are not supposed to, under any circumstances, open the doors once they lock the doors to the classroom.
I've seen that as well.
Because some of these kids, I don't know if you've heard this, Sabrina, but sometimes there actually has been situations where there's been a school shooter. And then when they go on lockdown, they go to the door and pretend like they're locked out of the classroom. And one time,
so screwed.
I know how messed up
all
is
of it
that?
is, but it's just eerie to hear it. You know,
it's like they've seen what they're doing to protect the kids in the classroom, and they're trying to take advantage of it. And in that case, one of the students saw, oh, this person actually has a gun. Don't let him in. FSU followed up with, this is an emergency message for Florida State University Tallahassee campus. Continue to shelter in place. Police have responded to an active shooter call at Student Union. Stay alert for more information. So,
oh my, that is an unfortunate cut in the message there.
It's supposed to be persons in need of emergency assistance, but your tweet can only be so long, and it literally says persons in need of emergency ass.
And someone is definitely
that is not
going with the joke, aren't they?
It's obviously a mistake that has happened here on this particular Twitter account, but here we are regardless. And now if you have a kid on campus, obviously that's something to make you panic, but they all get these text messages sent out to them, and they get updates as all this stuff is going on, which is good. And this one's saying, active shooter has been reported in the area. Please, you need to lock and stay away from all doors. This is the actual text message that went out to a bunch of these particular students. And I think this is some footage from the school. I don't know if you can see anything. I don't dare play the audio because I don't know if the person is cursing or if there's like gunshots or anything. I can see that the roads are blocked off around this area of the school at FSU. And I could see that there's some police. There's multiple police vehicles that are on the scene already at this point. But other than that, you know, just people on edge about hearing the beginnings of something like this. Hopefully you don't have too bad of news, but we'll keep an eye on this as the show goes on here today for those of you live with us. All right. In the meantime, let's talk about these parents. All right, C-Lane's a relatively new parent.
Mm-hmm.
And
in the grand scheme of parenting, yes.
Jackson is 14 months old.
He's just shy of a year and a half.
Okay. Damn. His kid is growing fast. He's just shy of a year and a half. What is the age when they'll allow you to start taking the kid to preschool and stuff?
Isn't it PK4 now, or?
I think it depends on the preschool. I mean, because there are daycares he could go to right now, but I don't know that they would be trying to teach him anything.
Yeah. When I first saw this story about these parents that are getting some heat, they said that their twins were at preschool and they're only 3 years old. And I thought that sounded kind of early to go to preschool, but maybe that's just how the system goes these days. The thing about them is their 3-year-old twins have been expelled from 2 preschools already.
All right.
Double trouble.
Little hellions at just 3 years old, these kids.
How do you get expelled at 3?
It's tough, but it could be done. Yafon's son and Tyler Louviere's twin daughters were eager for day one of preschool last August. With new backpacks, one pizza-themed, one with flowers, and new clothes, a bluey T-shirt and a flowery tank top, the 3-year-olds stood in front of their home holding first-day paper plates. That's like the photo op that parents will do when they're go to school or, in this case, preschool. Each had answered the same question.
Paper plates, huh? They couldn't spring on the chalkboard?
That's all they got. They said they were asked the question on their first day, what do you want to be when you grow up? And the young boy, Tyler, said he wanted to be a ninja when he grows up. And I say to you, Tyler, that is not an occupation. All right? That is not a job.
Let Tyler have this fantasy for a little bit, man.
You're not going to be a ninja when you grow up, Tyler.
Okay.
You're going to be like C-Lane, and you're going to take a karate class for a year, and you're going to go, and then you're never going to make it to ninja status.
He's coming at you, bro. You going to take that from him?
I'm used to this. It's,
Answer this question, C-Lane. Are there any modern-day ninjas? Are there any?
There are plenty of modern-day ninjas.
There are none.
You don't
no
see
modern-day
them.
ninjas.
They're
there are none.
stealthy.
Tyler is not going to be a ninja, though he thinks he is. And when the 3-year-old daughter was asked, what does she want to be when she grows up? She answered, a duck.
Good answer.
Quite concerning.
Okay.
Miss Yafon.
I would say that there are more ninjas
than duck people?
Than duck people.
Duck people are also very stealthy.
What kind of answer is this? I guess you're only 3 years old, but when you say, what do you want to be? What do you want to be when you grow up? And the kid goes, I want to be a duck.
Because you look and you see their life is a bit simple.
I would kick them down.
Of when it comes to the mating habits, it's very violent.
The duck?
Ducks, yeah.
You're not going to be a duck, young girl. These kids have outsized expectations here. I'm sorry. They said, I was excited for them to be with kids their own age.
What if she
and make
grows
friends.
up really short and she's like the perfect size and height for to work at a theme park that may or may not have a giant duck that needs a costume that needs somebody to operate it.
Well, if you're going to aspire for that, shoot for the highest level. To be Toad in the Super Mario world takes a little tiny person.
That looked like it was way too much energy.
Yeah, that's high energy, but it looked fun. So they said they want to be a duck and a ninja when they grow up. Now their parents say, I was excited for them to be with kids their own age and make friends. She said, now the memory is ruined, Mom says. I can't get myself to look at the picture without feeling sad. Sad with a side of anger, Mom says.
Quack.
The kids were sent home and said they could not be at this preschool because they have listening issues. And across the country, hundreds of thousands of families have similar stories here. They said public awareness needs to be brought to this because these kids get kicked out of these schools because they cannot learn. I'm going to argue here that the problem is, okay, I'm just an ignorant man arguing here. The problem is that 3-year-olds are not evolved to be sitting in preschool classrooms and following instructions. They're 3 years old. Just like C-Lane can't wrangle Jackson right now.
Whoa. I'm perfectly capable of wrangling Jackson.
Jackson is doing everything every kid his age at 1.5 years is going to do.
What animal does he want to be?
Has he chimed in on what he wants to be when he grows up?
I
or no?
haven't asked. He probably would say a bubble.
A bubble?
All right.
Because it's one of his go-to words.
So cute.
It's kind of fun.
I want to be a bubble.
Maybe better chances of being a bubble than being a duck. So we'll give Jackson that. But these 3-year-olds are going to preschool too early. You can't at 3 years old be expected to just sit there. I believe the same thing is true for all these ADHD kids. I was saying in the New York Times story where they said kids, boys specifically, because school is not designed for boys in the way they are between 10 and 16 or so. These young kids are like 65% ADHD. They make the qualifications for being ADHD. 65% of these young boys do. For girls, it's only like 30 or so. It's like half of the number. And again, I would say it's because our schools are taking these young kids that have not evolved to sit still in a seat and stare at a chalkboard all day long and putting them in that situation. That's not what young kids are going to be excelling at. And then when they don't do it, when the little kid goes, moves around and cries or something, we go, well, they're not listening properly. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. They're not properly paying attention to class. What are you expecting? They're 3 years old. You're going to toddle around. You're going to make your way through the world. And then when you get older, you can focus on things a little bit more.
Like becoming a duck.
You can put all your attention and energy on being a duck or being a bubble or being a ninja. Those things will really be easier. Tracy Claus says, preach, Sean. I think this is one of those obvious things that nobody says because we have a system and we do things the way we do them because we've always done them that way. So many things in our world are done that way. Why do we do this? Because we've always done it that way. A 3-year-old is going to be a 3-year-old, just like a lion's going to be a lion. A child is going to be a child. A child, even when they get a little bit older, is not equipped to sit in a chair and stare at a chalkboard for hours on end. A 3-year-old is not equipped to obey all the rules of a preschool. When C-Lane...
But
What?
Two preschools?
2 preschools booted these kids out.
So 2 preschools.
Yeah, because they shouldn't be in them to begin with. They're too young. If Jackson does something wrong, C-Lane doesn't get mad at Jackson for doing something wrong. It's not his fault. He's 1.5 years old, or in this case, 3 years old. What do you think? Let us know. Send us a dispatch at thenewsjunkie.com. When we come back, the next episode with Sabrina, what's coming up on the next episode?
What's coming up on the next episode? In solidarity of Firefest 2 cancellation, Mr. Beast apparently gave fans his own version of an expensive womp womp. According to a new report, ladies, check your message request folder for a DM from Elon directed at your empty womb. Plus, the Amanda Bynes Show is moving to OnlyFans. All that and so much more coming up on the next episode.
And that is coming up next on the News Junkie.
Coming up tonight on Real Radio at 7, it's a corporate time with Tom and Dan. Brought to you by MyEternalVitality.com and Modern Plumbing Industries. At 9 p.m., it's Real Laughs with...
Go, Mike. I was banned for a joke, says, and yet Sean is taking care of his child still at 24 years old. I'll have you know, I don't pay any of his bills. I haven't sent him money in a long time. He's got it together. He's doing his own thing. He's building up his own life. He's good to go. But every kid in their early 20s is going to do better if they have some help from some parents, especially in economia. I think that the problem is we just take like 6 and 7-year-old and 8-year-old kids and we go sit in that seat and stare at the board. And we expect them to do it. And you're never going to get a good outcome out of that. Those kids are not evolved to do that. Nobody is. Somebody said we're preparing them for the 9-to-5 world. And I think that's true. It's like, let's sedate these kids. Let's get them onto the ADHD medication. Let's sedate them and let's teach them to be still and work in an office, in a cubicle. I don't know if we're built for that. I don't think we are. Amy says, my kid performed an appendectomy at 5. You sure about that? You sure about that? I had 2 jobs when I was 4. No. Yeah. No kids are supposed to do this. Kids are supposed to be kids. Supposed to be enjoying their lives and learning the world, but not staring at a chalkboard all day. It's just never going to happen. How do you combat that? I think you have those kids outside more. Honest to God. I think you have them outside more. Is Courtney back? Hello? Oh, I didn't expect you to be back. What? Oh my goodness. Who wants some delicious things? Look what Courtney bought. Oh my. What is this? What's in this box?
Chocolate chip pistachio.
Chocolate chip pistachio salted Gideon's Bakehouse cookies?
And carrot cake.
And this one's carrot cake?
Oh, this is carrot cake.
Oh, there's carrot cake in there. What's in here?
Peanut butter, cookies and cream, chocolate chip, and the pistachio.
Oh my goodness. How much did you spend?
It was $50.
$50 in the cookies?
Well, they had a tip.
It lasts a long time though.
No, I know. This will bring us through our no jerky day.
Yeah. Oh man, that looks good.
And my sister doesn't answer, then this will bring us through the month.
Well, we have a backup plan for it. Just in case. Gideon's, baby. More like giddy up. You know what I mean? For those of you who don't know, pro tip, top tier secret, one of the most famous cookie places in the country right now, maybe the world, is Gideon's Bakehouse. And Gideon's Bakehouse, when they're not fighting off tween socialist employees who are going on internet rampages, they are making the most delicious bakery treats that one could ever imagine.
The problem is they have a location at Disney Springs, and if you go, you're probably going to wait 2 hours in a line. Literally 2 hours. You're going to be waiting for that long. The pro tip is go to the other location. I think it's East End Market. You just go in there, walk right up, same thing. Oh, Gideon's. Good. Not a sponsor.
Battle of the Bets. Pick a side for $1. Win your share of $250K or more today. Prize pool will be paid out in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
The new iHeart app just looks better.
The best feature of a car radio on the app.
It's the presets.
Super easy.
And thank you for keeping it free.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio. Real Radio is on Facebook at Real Radio 1041. Sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Have you been in an accident? Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
The game of magnets. Taking over the world one terrible person at a time.
Of entertainment and beyond. Welcome on board. Good to have you around here. And if you miss any of the show, you can always subscribe to the podcast. Get it on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts. Links at thenewsjunkie.com. All right, friends, let's get into it. Let's do the next episode.
Because there's a lot on TV, and you can't possibly keep up with all of it, even though you should, because what else are you going to talk about?
Biden's fighting for you. Saving Social Security.
Nothing. Weather's nice. It's time for the next episode with Sabrina.
Hey, smoke weed every day.
Hold up. The next episode brought to you by that mortgage guy, Don. ThatmortgageguyDon.com. That's his website. That's where you start the process of changing your life or making it a little bit easier. If you're refinancing, maybe you're looking into buying your first dream home, expanding your business, starting your own business. But most importantly, you got to work with someone who is looking out for you. And that's that mortgage guy, Don. Any question you have, direct access to the man himself. Go to the website, thatmortgageguyDon.com.
Don't miss the boat. Compare your quote with thatmortgageguyDon.com.
It was a mere 32 years ago, 1993. Hundreds.
You remember, Sean?
I was not alive.
Yeah, you were. It was 32 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at something else. I didn't hear the year.
Got him.
Hundreds of angry rap fans went on a rampage, of all places, at California's Six Flags Magic Mountain, y'all.
Ooh.
Vandalizing, looting shops. So upset because they could not get into this show.
Oh, man.
TLC. Yeah. What?
Really?
Come on. What? Yeah. And Paper Boy. Which one's Paper Boy?
Paper Boy is an old video game?
Mm-hmm.
I believe it probably was a band. It was the TLC and Paper Boy concert.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where you play the old game while you wait for TLC to come on.
Well, you couldn't because it was sold out. People were angry and they destroyed Six Flags. So much so, 40 people were injured in the chaos, and the park announced no more rap concerts.
Wow.
Sorry, Paper Boy
is best known for his single Diddy. D-I-T-T-Y? Do we know that?
I think you know it. Hit it, Sean. Go for it.
Paper
Boy.
Oh, wrong Diddy. Sorry.
That's it. No, different guy. D-I-T-T-Y, this guy.
Not sure if Diddy or Ditty will be on this list, but we do have the 2025 Time 100.
Yay!
Just gonna double check here. See.
Are we on
Christopher Lane.
Oh,
Sean Watson.
There's 100 people, so we should have made the list, I would think.
Yeah, no, I'm not seeing that. I'm sorry.
Oh, bitch, man.
Maybe next year? But we do have the artists as far as the annual list of 100 most influential people. They go by categories, so with artists. Congratulations to
Ed Sheeran. Yeah. Okay.
Where are his eyes looking? Right at that Time magazine, where he's one of the 100 most influential people of 2025.
Why now?
I don't know.
I don't even know if he has a song out right now. Like, I don't. Okay. Who else?
Scarlett Johansson, Kristen Bell, Adam Scott, Rashida Jones, Kristen Wiig, Nicole Scherzinger.
Okay, from the Pussycat Dolls. Yeah.
Hosier, I guess the entire band.
All right.
Diego Luna from Star Wars, Andor, and Daniel Day Kim from Lost. Speaking of, Lost was from a really long time ago, so maybe he's
Daniel
done other
Day
stuff.
Kim. It's like they pick these people at random. Oh, okay, I know this guy. Yeah, 100%. But I don't know him just from Lost. He's a famous actor.
Yeah.
Hawaii Five-0, he was in.
He had to be.
No, I don't know what it would be, but
Icons. We have Demi Moore, Eagle star Jalen Hurts, Adrian Brody. We have anchor David Muir.
And
as well as
making
Bobby
these
Brown.
like from 2025, they say, like most influential of this year.
President Donald Trump has also made the cut.
I didn't need an
Mexico's. I just have the list of people. They didn't say what inspired them, but I'm getting many years prior to this.
Yeah, the year's not even half over.
I'm getting the vibe. J.D. Vance also made it. Megyn Kelly, Serena Williams, Blake Lively is on there. Mark Zuckerberg. And Snoop Dogg, Snoop D-O-double-G, also made the cut. Time 100 TV special will be airing on ABC. Snoop Dogg will host, Ed Sheeran and Miles Smith will perform.
What a weird
Congratulations. I'm very surprised, though, that Mark Hoppus didn't make it because...
I took her out.
From Blink-182.
You bet your butt. And he has a brand new book, Fahrenheit 182, a memoir.
Good name.
And this is news to me. Maybe you did it as a Today I Learned, but I guess there was an evening with Mark Hoppus recently, and I saw it on the TikToks, and then I pulled up the story, and it's also included in the book. But did you know he actually might have helped capture Saddam Hussein?
I did not know that, no.
So
that sounds like a tall tale.
Yes, and it's also from many years ago. This is a person who was on a podcast that I did not remember what the name was, but he was sharing what he picked up from his night with Mark Hoppus. And I guess back in the day, they did this US or SSO tour. USO tour, and they were performing on a battleship.
All right.
And a captain of the battleship, as well as a high-ranking officer, wanted to have dinner with Blink-182. And that's when Mark said, I've got an idea for you guys, since you're still looking for Saddam.
He goes, people might not remember in early 2003, but Saddam Hussein was sending out the worst podcast in history basically every night. He was recording himself in a cave on a videotape. He would get that to his supporters and his fans. They would put the tape out for the world to see. He's like, you know what region he's in, Saddam's in, and you know he's recording himself on a video camera basically every night. Fly piloted missions in a grid formation over that region, have the planes dropping sonar down at a frequency that they will hear the recording device of the video camera. Rear Admiral of the United States Navy goes, that's a good idea. And Mark goes, I know it is.
Yeah.
He goes,
so his dad's a rocket scientist. Didn't know if you knew that either.
I know. I was not aware of that, no.
But he says next time he releases one of his videos, listen to it, pull the ultrasonic data, triangulate the drones to have them flying over in a grid formation. And he said the Admiral was genuinely taken aback and that he would mention it at this next Joint Chiefs of Staff meeting.
Whoa.
4 months
How are
later,
we only hearing about this now? If I was Mark
4 months
Hoppus,
later,
I would be
captured.
telling everybody this story.
Because when your dad's a rocket scientist, I feel like you kind of just slip it in. And you come out with a new book in which you can share the story and so many other things. Congratulations. Thank you for stopping Saddam while your bandmate stops the aliens. And that's, I guess, my time. TLC, to kind of just full circle it. Get ready, Broadway, because we got Crazy Sexy Cool, the musical.
Ooh.
Headed to a stage near you, premiering in 2026. We'll tell the mostly true story of T-Bow's Left Eye and Chili.
It's going to make some of it up.
We'll see. Something's going to be lit on fire, right? On the Boob Tube, we got Matlock on CBS, Law & Order Organized Crime, 5th season premiere. We have The Wheel of Time on Amazon, and you can catch Senator Raphael Warnock on Colbert. Follow your dreams and me on Instagram at Sabrina Ambro, and most importantly, stay with me, America.
Smoke weed every day. Thank you, Sabrina. Seeing a lot more stuff out of FSU. I'm hoping some of the stuff I'm seeing is not real. Some of it looks to be, but there's at least one video where somebody zooms in on a student that looks to be down on the ground. There's another one that's real bad, but it doesn't make sense to me. I'll send it to you guys. You don't have to watch it, obviously, but I'll send it to you both right now. I don't know if this is real. In fact, I'm thinking it's not. I hope it's not, because it shows a person like sipping on a Starbucks cup when they walk by some bodies. It kind of looks like FSU, if I'm honest with you, but yeah, there's just a bunch of videos starting to come out of this right now.
Any update if they've got the guy?
No, the only thing we actually know is this is real. This is students being marched off the campus, and that's an actual video. They're all holding their hands up, and they're walking off the campus at FSU. It's a huge line of students that are kind of leaving the school right now. So we're going to keep an eye on this as this goes on. We'll let you know what's happening there and what the details are. I hope that video that I just sent you ain't real, though. Jesus. Okay, quick break. We'll look into that. We'll investigate. We'll come back with more. That's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Your chance to win $1,000 in your hand is minutes away on Real Radio 104.1. Brought to you by Mills Air.
Keep an eye out for a car stopped on the shoulder on the Beach Line eastbound near Narcoossee Road. There's a crash, slowing down traffic, blocking the right lane on I-4 eastbound at Sand Lake Road. Move over and slow down if you see police activity or emergency vehicles on the roadways. Emergency crews are clearing up an accident on I-95 southbound near State Road 520. If you see traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and we sell custom blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices. Our blinds are handcrafted to fit your windows, and if they don't, for any reason, we'll remake them for free. Your satisfaction is always guaranteed at Blindster.com.
Sunnyside Electric.
Hello, I need a new electrical outlet.
We are learning about pickleball today.
Okay.
Isn't that a funny name?
What about my electrical?
Pickleball.
I should have called Frank Gay.
Oh, it's like miniature tennis.
I'm calling Frank Gay.
When you need electrical work in your home, you need a trustworthy electrician who can clearly explain how to solve any dilemma. That's the Frank Gay way.
That's the Frank Gay way.
FrankGayServices.com.
This earful of real radio is brought to you by JustCallMo.com. Injured on the go? JustCallMo.com.
If you're thinking about going to nursing school but aren't sure how to get started, join us at Galen College of Nursing's upcoming open house. Here, you'll meet with friendly and helpful faculty, current students, and academic advisors who can help you get comfortable with admissions and enrollment. Plus, you'll tour our campus.
School mic on. Okay, tons of videos starting to come in out of FSU now. Hello?
I'm gonna bring my sister this cookies and go to Costco.
Okay, be safe, please.
You want a dog?
What kind of dog?
If I get back on time for lunch.
A hot dog?
Yeah.
Yes, but I have to leave right after for the tattoo removal thing.
Okay.
I have to.
Depending on the time.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye. Bye. The videos coming out are rough. The one that I sent Sabrina and C-Lane is somebody, it's so cold. It's somebody sipping on a Starbucks cup, and then you see a woman who looks like she's been shot in like the backside with blood, curled up on the ground at the school. And there's another student on the ground. So there's at least 2 students in that video. I've got a couple other ones that I can show you so we can get an idea of what's actually going on here. But obviously, something's shaping up on that particular campus, which is weird because Wellington High School also has something going on right now, which is very close to where I grew up. Wellington High School has some sort of incident. Hopefully, Nobody's shot there, but I've seen some things about that. We just had this situation in Dallas. I don't know, at this point, it's like I'm hoping to see that everybody's okay, but I don't know where this is going to go. Sea Witch says, I don't think that video is real, Sean. It might not be. The other ones that I have, that's why I haven't showed that one in particular, and a couple other ones I haven't showed are just way too graphic. I'm not going to show dead people or bodies on a stream like this. That seems bad, especially who the hell knows, you know? But some of them are definitely real that I've seen, and it appears at the very least at this point like there's several people who are injured. I'd be comfortable saying that. With the footage that I've seen that is very much real, it looks like at the very least several people are injured, but we'll dive a little deeper. Hang tight.
Acceptance Insurance has offices in your neighborhood, and one call to Acceptance could save you up to 30% on your car insurance. 800-606-7049. Let Acceptance shop for you. By comparing and finding the best rates, you could save up to 30%. 800-606-7049. 800-606-7049. Restrictions apply based on Q1 2024 study of Acceptance Insurance customers who reported saving when they switched. License number L012294.
Hey Orlando, Joe Rossi here from Greenway Kia. By now, you've heard about the auto tariffs, but at Greenway Kia, we planned ahead. We've been stocking up on new Kias at all 3 locations. Drive home the new Kia you want tariff-free. Like new 2025 Kia Sorento SUVs for only $179 per month for 24 months with 0 security deposit. We want to see you in a Kia. Visit greenwaykias.com.
Qualified applicants through KFA include $650 acquisition fee, 10,000 miles per year, $49.95 at inception, plus tax title license, $899 dealer, and $249.50 doc fee. Expires 5/5/25.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
It's tax season. By now, we're all a bit tired of numbers, but here's one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number, $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed. Save up to 40% in your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit LifeLock.com. That's LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY. Terms apply.
Discover the new Buick SUVs in stock now at orangebuickgmc.com. We are professional grade.
Live from the JustCallMo.com studios. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. From car accidents to personal injury cases, Mo has you covered. Visit JustCallMo.com or dial 1-800-CALL-MO. This is WTKS-FM HD1, Cocoa Beach, Orlando. An iHeartRadio station. Make us the #1 preset on your car radio and on the free, new and improved iHeartRadio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
Real Radio has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, BANK, B-A-N-K, BANK. Enter it now on our website, realradio.fm. Good luck.
Your direct line to the heroes that saved Canada that one time.
It's
for multiple reasons. One, we're at different times in different markets and stuff. But two, just out of an abundance of caution, we're going to try to be very careful talking about this. There's a lot of real and fake stuff going around right now about what's happening at FSU, Florida State University, and the campus there. And some of the footage is really bad. I'll also caution everybody. Like, I've seen a couple of things that said there's multiple shooters and stuff. Yeah. And we all know, we've done this enough at this point in time. Early on in any kind of story, there are very confusing narratives that start getting built. And nobody really knows exactly what's happening. So, just take in what you can, and we'll try to figure out what's happening here. But some of the stuff that we're seeing at FSU is definitely scary. And we know this is real. We know these students are walking off the campus. There's a ton of them with their hands up. We'll go to the police scanner and some other stuff in a bit here and see if we can find out what's going on. And there's a lot more footage that's starting to come out. Let me see. Hold on. I'll have to tell you, Celine, if we could take this, because I don't want to just take everything.
Saying at least on CNN that the suspect is in custody.
Okay. So did they say anything about, because I know from what I've seen, there's at least some people injured. All right.
4 people injured I saw, but
okay.
If that footage that I also saw, there's deaths as well.
This is somebody being taken care of and removed from the scene and pulled off of FSU campus. Hopefully this person is okay. Hopefully they're going to be getting some help here. So you could see at least 4 people have been injured. There was a lot of like very flurries of activity, I guess I could say. Here's this, Celine. Hold on, let me take the audio out. I'll explain it for everybody. This is shot from somebody's window at the school, and you just see cops full speed running with their weapons, like just taking off in one direction on the campus, headed to try to stop whatever the hell is happening there. And there's videos from inside the classrooms. We're not sure if these are real or not. There's somebody possibly being put into custody here. This is certainly on the scene. Let me mute this too. Somebody being put into custody, it looks like, by this officer. Now, we don't know if that is the shooter because, again, early on, a lot of confusion and stuff going on. This is just somebody with long hair. I can't tell much more about them.
Such a big campus, too, that I just
huge.
Can't imagine what lockdown looks like right now.
Because
maybe they got somebody in custody, but there's another section of that campus that doesn't know what's going on.
There's a lot of confusion, too. A lot of the folks that I see are just running. It's just people don't know exactly what's going on, so they're just hauling ass now, trying to get away from whatever it is that's happening there. So we're going to keep our eye on this story, and we'll see if we can make sure you know what's going on and not give you a bunch of fake stuff on the way. I guess this is right outside the campus, and the police presence is very significant, I'll tell you. Very, very significant right now outside FSU. I'm looking at, what do you think, a dozen police vehicles or more?
Way more than that.
Yeah, I mean,
like 30.
A lot of police vehicles covering the road. This is WCTV. Let's see what they're saying. See what they have to say about this.
Woodward Avenue to the north, and then Tennessee Street east and west completely blocked. So again, if you're traveling on the west side of town, of course, stay far away. Now, we have seen a helicopter above us. It's still going above us, and as you've mentioned, we don't have any word.
Says police on scene, school in lockdown.
Custody, or at least we haven't received word from here on the ground. Right now, we're the only ones out here. We're going to keep close tabs. We've gotten a better vantage point. We're now on this side of Tennessee Street, so we can look farther down towards the student union. So we're going to keep a close eye on. There are some folks, law enforcement walking, and we do see crime scene tape up all around the student union. So we're going to keep a close eye on that and any other commotion that comes up. But for now, we're going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
Quick.
Yeah, they're the first crew out there. So we'll keep an eye on this particular news feed and see what is going on and give you some updates. Hoping for the best, but some of this doesn't look fantastic, at least this far in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man. Every day.
Yeah, there was just one in Dallas, I think, with some kid fighting over a dice game, and he ended up shooting up a couple of people at school. It's tough now because When I say school shooting, like one thing always is conjured up in my mind, and that is outcast kid comes armed to the teeth with a bunch of weapons and a plan, and they're going to do this at their school. But now there's a lot of these things that are just like some fight between a couple of people, and then it's obviously a different incident that's happening on campus. Right here, it's too early to tell. We have no idea what actually is going on, and I don't want to put out any kind of information before we actually do. I can tune in real quick to the University of Florida Police Department and see what the actual police scanner has going on. Let's see. That is now live here. Let's see. A lot of people listening to this online, obviously, because these are the police getting everything moving, and I'm sure have their hands absolutely full right now on this campus. So far, nothing. Quiet on the feed. But I'll monitor that as well.
So I'm on the Reddit live update subreddit, I guess.
Those are usually good for live news events, yeah.
They're saying 3:14 a.m. Eastern, so I don't know what time zone they're in. But I'm back for one last update. Police announced that there are 3 victims. Current states are unknown. Shooter was confronted by police but failed to drop weapon, subsequently shot, and just gave the official all clear. There are no further threats to the campus.
Okay.
Is what is being said on Reddit.
Right. Grain of salt, everything right now. But that would be good news if that is indeed true. So we will keep watching. We'll let you know what's going on as the show rolls on today.
I do not get
Oh, my God, guys. I'm so sorry.
What?
I just read a post from 11 years ago.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
Please delete. That's so weird.
From FSU, too?
Yes.
From the that's why. It was from the same damn campus.
I apologize.
I don't get
that.
This thing where some of the people that are tweeting and posting the videos about it censor the word shooting.
Uh-huh.
Well, because they think the algorithm is going to push it away.
On Twitter, they do that because they think that it's going to get reduced in terms of the spread of it on social media. Did I say a different school? I meant FSU. FSU, Florida State University in Tallahassee, is where this is happening. And it's all kind of going down live here if you're live with the show. Otherwise, you might be on a bit of a delay. But all we know now is that there are multiple people who appear to be injured. There is a huge police presence at FSU, one of the biggest colleges in the country. And there are people who have been evacuating the campus, people running. We see all that stuff. See a couple of videos of people down on the ground, people being rushed out by police. Other than that, we don't know exactly what's going on yet. So we'll figure that out and try to be careful wandering through it here in just a moment. All right, let's see what you got. Let's work in a couple of dispatches. Somebody says, Sean, what are you doing? I'm a buzzkill, says 2 tickets to Pound Town. Let's see what they say.
It's breaking news.
Sean Wasson, you absolute buzzkill of a human being. How dare you crush that little kid's aspirations of being a ninja? When I was his age, I wanted to be a radio host. What did I grow up to be? An electrician who uses his phone to leave talkbacks to make fun of a radio host. I mean, kind of got there. That's all I got. Deuces.
All right. Yeah, close enough. Just being a ninja is a hard career tract. That's what I'm saying. I'm going down to saying, this is going to be a difficult one. Being a duck.
A lot of cardio.
Duck is even more difficult. Or as C-Lane's child, Jackson, wants to be a bubble, possibly
Now we're
at
talking.
this one. Yeah, all these very, very difficult, but we wish him the best. My cousin Mo says Ninja School does exist. What is this?
All right, News Junkie, check it out. It exists. You can want to be a ninja.
There is a real ninja school that he's at here.
Such a small sign.
And it says Ninja School on the sign, Martial Arts Academy. All right, so maybe this little kid, 3-year-old, needs to get on the pipeline to that.
To graduate Ninja School, you have to flying kick that sign out of existence.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to find out what's going on here with a couple of stories that we're following and give you an update when we return. So stick with us. That is coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real Real radio is the Jim Colbert Show.
Today on the show, it's time for your third clue for the Search Your Ace Off contest. Plus, we'll do Date Night Done Right with Danny Myring. Our buddy Glenn Klausman stops by for Colbert Court. Tons of great prizes for trivia. And we'll end it up with You Heard It Here First, plus 4 opportunities for you to win $1,000 and your calls, texts, and talkbacks.
The Jim Colbert Show, today at 3 on Real Radio 104.1.
From the Klausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Klausman Law. KlausmanLaw.com.
Traffic slowing down due to an accident on I-4 eastbound approaching Sand Lake Road. There's stop-and-go traffic on I-4 through that Champions Gate area. Traffic's piling up at the ramp junction where Florida's Turnpike meets the Beach Line. Look out for a car stopped on the shoulder on the Beach Line eastbound near Narcoossee Road. Traffic's starting to slow down on the major roadways this afternoon, so travel with caution. If you see traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change traffic tip line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Blue Stream Fiber, HOA and condo board members. Fiber internet has never been easier. Blue Stream Fiber simplifies the switch, helping your community save up to 50% while keeping residents happy. Their step-by-step process makes upgrading hassle-free. Visit bluestreamfiber.com/radio today.
If you're thinking about going to nursing school but aren't sure how to get started, join us at Galen College of Nursing's upcoming open house. Here, you'll meet with friendly and helpful faculty, current students, and academic advisors who can help you get comfortable with admissions and enrollment. Plus, you'll tour our campus and learn all about Galen's personalized student support. RSVP now for our open house on Tuesday, April 22nd from 4 to 6 p.m. by visiting galencollege.edu/Orlando.
Hastings Main Street presents the annual Cabbage, Potato, and Bacon Festival on April 26th and 27th in Hastings, Florida. Highlights include cooking demonstrations, culinary tasting events with renowned chefs, the Great Hastings Mowdown Lawnmower Races, Miss Potato Queen Beauty Pageant, live music, Kids Zone, and more. This is a family-friendly, fun weekend that's just a
School mic activated. Snoop Frog or whatever your name is, thank you for the email. Some of those photos are fake. I've seen the people passing around the photo of what's supposed to be the FSU shooter walking through the door, and he's got a gun in his hand. That is from a different shooting. I think it might be from a grocery store shooting that we covered years and years and years ago. But that is, I don't know why people are like posting that online, claiming it's the FSU shooter. It's not. But I've seen that in multiple places. I've seen multiple people saying, look, here he is. Here's the shooter. Some white guy with a gun. And it's like, that is indeed a white guy with a gun, but it's from a different incident altogether. Right now, what people don't see is there's an absolute flurry of students who are at FSU texting their parents, and real-time nervousness going on there, obviously, as the parents try to determine whether or not their kids are safe. And I'm hoping that we can hear that this is an all clear in a bit, and then they can sort out what's going on. But we're not there at the moment. We'll sort this out. All right, hang on tight. I'm going to find some things.
And Son know best. That's why FAS Exteriors is Orlando's #1 window, door, and roof contractor. You can count on fair pricing, install perfection, and customer satisfaction every time. When it's time for roof replacement, see for yourself why customers in Orlando trust the leader in FAS Exteriors, because father and son really do know what's best. Schedule your free consultation now at FASWD.com. That's FASWD.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Want a big green egg? For the lowest price
anywhere. Go to Wassy's Meat Market. They'll deliver and set up your big green egg so that you'll be cooking before they leave. Follow Wassy's Meat Market on Instagram or go to the website, wassysmeatmarket.com, for your big green egg today.
Packing bags, grabbing snacks, and making sure you didn't forget that one stuffed animal they can't sleep without.
Mom!
Getting ready for a holiday road trip is a lot, but one thing that's easy, the music. Thanks to the free iHeartRadio app. Listen to family-approved stations with today's pop music, like Hit Nation Jr. Carefully curated and safe playlists like Disney hits, and podcasts where you and the kids can learn something new. Open the iHeartRadio app, search family, and find your family's next preset now.
Pre-tariff inventory and prices from $18.9 now at Sutherland Nissan Orlando.
Real Radio has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, bank, B-A-N-K, bank. Enter it now on our website, realradio.fm. Good luck.
High diving face first into the world's most viral newsroom.
NewsJunkie.com, and if you've never joined us, well, maybe today's the day. Send us what we call a dispatch. It's a recorded message, either video or audio, and you can send yours over at thenewsjunkie.com. Seeing now that I guess the suspected shooter is in custody at FSU, which is obviously a good update to have. And with all the fake stuff out there, because I've seen a bunch of people are sending around, they're like, here's a photo of the shooter. And it's like some guy entering the door of this building with a big gun. The photo, that's fake. It's not fake. It's from a different shooting.
Well, yeah, I've seen it
Hard to keep up.
in response to the alert tweets and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're like, here he is. Here's the guy. And just a flood of disinformation and misinformation that happens after stories like this.
The fact that people just want to be a part of it that bad that they would pull up old photos or fake videos.
Or a Reddit post at 11 years old.
Yeah, that's different. But
some people are doing it intentionally, which is the weirdest thing. Like, what's your motivation there?
So that video you sent us, is that real?
I don't know. We don't know that. That's why I didn't want to share that. Plus, it's very, very graphic, obviously.
Horrific.
And the person who tweeted that video, this video that allegedly shows somebody walking around where somebody was hit down and drinking Starbucks at the time.
Very strange.
And the person who tweeted it, at least the one that you sent us, is not the person who took the video, but they are catching all the hate.
Yeah,
as if they were the person.
It comes off that they filmed it.
Yeah, because whatever it is, like this footage that's coming out shows somebody walking on what looks to be a college campus, sipping a Starbucks, and then showing on the camera that there are two people shot down on the ground.
Like a fresh Starbucks, a full iced coffee that looks like they just pulled it off the table.
It's very weird. This is real. This is from the campus. People who are just in the middle of like a little snack, eating out on the grass. They had left everything. So there's like all sorts of
I saw somebody retweet this and said they were going to go looting.
Oh my God, monsters. They left all their stuff behind, obviously, because there was a message sent out to everybody on FSU's campus that said, hey, there's an emergency here. So we know that there's somebody in custody that's supposedly the shooter. We know that multiple patients have been hospitalized after this happened in Tallahassee. The school sent an alert urging students to seek shelter, that they said there was somebody in the student union area. There were tons of police officers on the scene. The FBI is responding. At least 4 people have been hospitalized. Those are obviously very early numbers. And some of the coverage here, this is WCTV. Let's see what they're saying.
2014 shooting on campus. We remember seeing so many videos of people being inside in Stroger Library. That's where that 2014 shooting happened. But you can see the people inside. All right, and we actually have some video of the student. Let's go ahead and take that video.
Oh, no, what's this?
I just hope everyone's okay.
There's a witness.
For the people that are injured, and
I just hope he can do better in the future.
Okay.
That's it. Okay, she didn't have a lot to say, but this is, what they have eking out of the school. I hope we could do better in the future, too. I think that's a fine thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we're at on this. Hopefully everybody's okay. We do know at least some people are rushed to the hospital right now, and we do know that the person responsible at FSU appears to be in custody. So there you go. We're going to move in a different direction here. I want to tell you about something, and hold on. Actually, I'm not going to do that.
Okay. Was it a violent story?
It was just a story that was inappropriate to segue to, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to avoid going into that, and we'll head into
talk about Sea Lane's son being
here.
a bubble.
Sea Lane's kid being a bubble is a possibility. I don't know how he's going to pull it off, but I hope he does. Certainly. Day. All right. The Meta antitrust trial is going on right now. After all these years, the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, has said we're going to break up this huge company Meta and smash them into pieces, which would be Facebook, Instagram, all the different outlets that are owned over there. And one that most of you, especially like parents and stuff, don't really know of that is massive. WhatsApp. WhatsApp is owned by Meta, and WhatsApp is basically the biggest international messaging and calling app on the planet, I think. It's massive. Yeah. And people from...
I don't get it.
What, WhatsApp?
Yeah, I mean, I just... upon international travel, and I think that when we all went to Jamaica, it was like, everyone get on the WhatsApp. And I thought to myself, can we not just message amongst each other now, especially iPhone users? Like, what makes WhatsApp different?
It's free, so nobody's getting any charges.
It's free, it's multi-platform, and it's all internet-based. So it was something, it's something that everybody can get to no matter what their limitations are, if you don't pay for roaming or if you don't, if you don't have any signal,
it's
you
also
just only
super
Wi-Fi.
It's super handy for people out of the country because it used to be a giant pain in the ass. You remember early on in the show when we would call people in other countries, we'd have to use calling cards still, and it'd be like
throwback.
Dial, #4+1, like this long number that you would have to dial to get to another country. And now WhatsApp, you just immediately connect with whoever it is. That has been successful for them. But now that might be all broken up. And the news story says 2 things that Mark Zuckerberg admitted at the antitrust trial for Meta. There was 10 hours where Mr. Facebook himself was in the hot seat arguing that they shouldn't break up his company. And they said, why did you buy Instagram? And Mark Zuckerberg said, building a new app is hard. According to Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg, I thought that Instagram was better at camera functions than Facebook, so I thought it was better to just buy them, he said. Okay. And so they gobbled up Instagram at the time. Must be nice. The FTC's
He's right, though. Instagram, like when it first came out, had all these cool little filters and stuff. Yeah. And he's right about it. It's hard to build a new app, release it, and have people like it. Whereas Instagram was this thing that a bunch of people already liked, and so he spent $1 billion on it. Why not?
At the time, Instagram was totally different because everything had been...
ads.
But everything had been like MySpace, where there was a profile and you posted things text-based or links and all that. And Instagram was no links, no nothing, just photographs. Just pictures.
My favorite was people would put the links in the caption as if people could click them.
Here you go. Yeah, type in this whole URL and go where I'm talking about. But Meta argues that their past intentions are irrelevant because the case is flawed. But this could be hard for them. They might have to break up into different companies here. Meta also admitted that they didn't take TikTok seriously at first, but now the app from ByteDance has become their highest competitive threat, according to Zuckerberg. So he's suggesting that they're very aware of them now, which is obvious. I mean, if they weren't, I would be very concerned from that business as a whole. But there you go. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on the whole company, led by Mark Zuckerberg, but Meta and everything that it encompasses to break up into smaller pieces. And there are a lot of them. Like you have Facebook, you have WhatsApp, you have Instagram, you have Threads, you have all of the stuff that they do in the world of virtual reality, which is a thing in and of itself. They bought that one virtual reality company, right?
Oculus.
Oculus, right?
Oh, yeah. What happened to that?
Oculus was the biggest out there for a time, and they own them as well. So the government is basically saying you own too many things. There's not enough competition out there. If that's true for Facebook, look out Google, look out Apple, look out a lot of other companies. There will be more to come. All right, let's go to a couple of dispatches very quickly here. Here is Seychelles. Seychelles is joining us. Did I talk about iPhones? That's usually what he's complaining about. Here's Seychelles.
He did yesterday.
Good afternoon, the news junkie, Sean, Celine, and my lovely Sabrina.
Hello.
Sean, WhatsApp is bigger than what you think. It's also, you can send videos, doesn't matter how big it is, pictures, how many pictures as you can. And it doesn't matter. You don't have no limit on it. That's why it's very popular.
Right. Yeah, I understand that. I've used WhatsApp before. I have a WhatsApp chat with one person, one individual.
Who's that?
It. It's the developer that works on the website.
Oh, nice guy.
And I talk with him. It's very difficult to talk with him because he's 14 hours off of our time. But we talk on that.
Get up out of your bed. I need to speak with you now. Sorry, it's 4 a.m.
He's the guy. Remember I told you I had a call with him, and he was like, what can we do to get more money out of you?
I have that exact audio clip.
He's such a sweet guy. He's such a sweet and talented guy, and he's the one that I talked to over on WhatsApp.
Seychelles, by the way, was in the chat yesterday talking about himself in the third person.
Good.
Was he?
Good.
I know what your name is, Seychelles. And when you go in the chat after our discussion on the foldable iPhone and go, you see, Seychelles was right. I was like, this MFer is talking about himself in the third person saying Seychelles was right.
I would have started doing that too. I was just pop in during the breaks and be like, Sean was right about that. Really?
It would be like going in the chat as Sean Wasson and going, did you hear the news junkie? The news junkie was dead, spot on.
Really nailed it today.
Look at us.
All right, let's see what's going on over at FSU. Let's see if they have any updates from this coverage that's ongoing. WCTV has a reporter out there that they're about to go to, and their chyron still says active shooter on campus. Police on the scene, school on lockdown. We have heard that the shooter was in custody, but you never know. There's just so much that comes out quickly on stories like this.
Still right now, a lot of people talking about the possibility of multiple shooters. And while that is possible, it's very rare.
Yeah, it's true. Like that comes up in all of these instances. They'll go, oh, there's multiple people. It doesn't tend to be the case that there are multiple shooters. It just isn't something that plays out in most of these stories, but let's see what they're saying over here. All right.
Speaker Daniel Perez posted on X that we're watching what's unfolding at FSU is terrifying and every parent's worst nightmare. We are continuing to monitoring the news here in Tallahassee and urge everyone to pray for the students, families, faculty, first responders, and all involved.
It's one of the political
Speaker
people.
Perez is a graduate FSU, and up in D.C., Congressman Jimmy Petronas is also monitoring the situation, he says on X, as we work to learn more, again, offering prayers for first responders.
You know, it's funny to me when people say that. Like, they'll post them, they're like, we're actively monitoring the situation.
Cool, so are we.
It's like
you're live on the scene, and all we're talking about is what people are tweeting out.
I think they might be kind of locked down. Yeah, I think they might be kind of limited in terms of what the police are telling them so far.
CNN's got a student on the phone.
Do that. Can we listen? Let's hear. I'd love to hear from a student from FSU.
I've been keeping in touch with friends, family, everyone that I know.
How's you're sheltered in place there with a significant number of people, you told us. How is everyone handling? I mean, you seem fairly calm. I mean, I can also hear a little bit more in your voice, but you're very calm in this moment with us now on the air. How's everybody else doing?
I mean, a lot of us are relatively calm because we are in a safe spot, but obviously it's more of a calm fear because we are definitely terrified with what happened.
Is he in a classroom?
I can't speak.
I'm pretty
for
sure
everyone,
he's still
but,
sheltered in place.
Personally, I'm terrified, but right now I'm in a safe spot, so I feel slightly better, but not really.
Damn.
Understandably so. I mean, anyone I think would be shaken in the situation that you're facing. Garrett, when you reached out to your parents, was it via text message? Was it a phone call? What did they share with you?
It was text message. I said they were just shooting. I'm hunkering down, and I would I would stay off, any sort of line for several minutes to allow first responders to pretty much use open communication, because I knew it was going to be clogged and there's going to be a lot of people calling. So I texted them that. They kind of stayed down for a few minutes. And then I pretty much called them just saying, hey, I'm fine. I don't think he's anywhere near us, and that I'll just keep him in touch.
I think they would probably love to hear from you again. I say that as a mom over here. Garrett, we are grateful that you took the time to speak with us and walk us through what's happening.
Listen, this wrapping
really
up.
glad to hear that you are okay.
All right, there they go. So this is somebody in the classroom. Kind of crazy that they called
Garrett
their parents
Harvey.
and then they're like, let's get Garrett Harvey on CNN now. And he calls CNN, is talking with them.
They're
A lot
probably
of
going to
times,
be, they have to go through every single classroom.
Yeah,
Who's just still in there.
Well, I keep seeing this footage spread around that you sent over, Sabrina, which is somebody actually in one of the classrooms, and they're just, they're laying down and filming, and like all the emergency alert stuff is going off in the background. And the teacher, I'm not going to play the audio of this, but the teacher is like, everybody remain calm. We must remain calm in the classroom right now, and we got to keep things together as we figure out what's going on here.
I think part of the point of that video was also they weren't letting anybody in.
Yeah, they could hear
people
like
knocking
the
or
police
stuff.
or somebody.
Yeah. They're supposed to wait until there's like identifiable law enforcement presence at the door for obvious reasons. They got to keep everybody safe. And I know that some of these schools are really on point with what they do in these circumstances. But yeah, this one's been a little bit tight-lipped so far. We'll keep an eye on that and give you an update before jury duty. And we'll also bring you some other stories, including the Dave's Killer Bread story, which, if you never heard of Dave's Killer Bread, it's very interesting, the whole company. And now, do they? I've only had like a little, I've tried, I think, one of their offerings. That
I don't know if I
store.
don't think I've ever heard of this company.
Never heard of
I've
it?
had Dave's Killer Bagels, and they were, in fact, delicious.
It's a super interesting company. Like, the company is based on a guy who went to jail and for murder, and then started making a bread company afterwards.
So he got out of jail for the murder.
After a while, I'll bring it up. Dave, I'll bring this up when we come back, and we'll talk about what's happening at that particular workplace, because it's a crazy story. That as well is coming up next on the News Junkie.
Something on your mind? Text us at 77031. Standard data and message rates apply. Real Mobile is powered by Orange Buick GMC and OrangeBuickGMC.com. We are professional grade.
This is 11-year NBA veteran Katina Mobley. This is what's trending from iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Thrivent.
The Magic are enjoying some time off before the playoffs. Orlando will face off against the Celtics in Game 1 Sunday afternoon in Boston. Florida's found their replacement for star guard Walter Clayton Jr. They got a commitment yesterday from Princeton transfer Xavier Lee. And longtime college football broadcaster Lee Corso is retiring from ESPN's College Game Day. He'd been part of the pregame show since back in '87. I'm Scott Davidson.
At Thrivent, planning your finances is bigger than money. It's a way to support the people, causes, and community you love. Because the most important thing isn't what you're planning for, it's who. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
If you're looking to find out about a reverse mortgage, guess what? That mortgage guy Don can help. Rates are improving, and that makes the terms even more favorable. If you want to find out how it works, get with that mortgage guy Don. He'll get you some numbers and explain the details, and then you decide if it makes sense for you to proceed. A reverse mortgage can be a lifesaver, especially for people over 62 on a fixed income. So don't miss the boat. Compare your quote today and get a quote with no hard credit inquiry. Most importantly, work with an expert and a friend that you can trust. Go to thatmortgageguyDon.com.
Don't miss the boat. Compare your quote with thatmortgageguyDon.com.
Joe Rossi from Greenway Kia here. Tariffs are hitting the auto industry hard, but we're ready. We loaded up on brand new Kias across all 3 locations. Right now, they're in stock and tariff-free, with interest rates as low as 0% for 72 months. Plus, take $3,000 off any new 2025 Kia Sportage. We want to see you in a Kia. Visit greenwaykias.com.
Stock number SG282557. MSRP $30,840. Qualified applicants to the KFA. 0 down. $1,388 per thousand borrowed for 72 months at 0% APR financing. Plus tax title license. $899 dealer. $249.50 doc fee. Expires 5/5/25.
Mills Air in business since 1992. That's over 30 years here in Central Florida. They're not going anywhere. Carrier factory authorized dealer. You can always turn to the experts at Carrier. Equipment change-outs and upgrades right now with up to $1,275 in rebates. Visit millsair.com.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will.
How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy. Like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 20% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why go to just another sports bar when you can go to Crush Yard? The food, amazing. The drinks, top shelf. Craft beers, a gajillion of them. And then the big surprise, pickleball, all indoor on pristine new courts. So that's it, right? Wrong, because we've also got ping pong, cornhole, and a full arcade for the kids. So, Kissimmee, when the temps rise, cool off with the best food, games, and fun at the hottest new spot in town. Visit crushyard.com and follow us on social for details. See you down at the yard.
For just a moment, imagine life without joint pain. Erase the constant ache in your knees, hips, or shoulders. Imagine moving with ease, unafraid of that next jolt of pain. At QC Kinetics, we believe your health is your greatest investment, and we're here to help you regain it. Our advanced regenerative therapies revitalize damaged joint tissue with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. It's not just about relieving pain, it's about restoring your freedom and confidence. Imagine golfing, hiking, or just walking without hesitation. Imagine waking up every morning without pain holding you back. With QC Kinetics, you can turn those dreams into reality by investing in something priceless, your health. Find out if you're a viable candidate by requesting a free consultation today. Call 689-283-9776. What's your health worth to you? If it's worth a free call and consultation, here's the number, 689-283-9776. 689-283-9776.
Get ready for fun family gatherings by replacing your old windows and doors with beautiful designs from Renewal by Andersen. One reason, they're customizable. Choose from a variety of styles and finishes to match your home's aesthetic, with each product custom built to fit your home's exact specifications. James says installation went smoothly, installers polite and professional and hardworking. Take advantage of Renewal by Andersen's 1 month only sale. $300 off all windows, $825 off patio doors. Plus 0 down, 0 payments, and 0% interest for 18 months. Bonus offer. First 50 callers get a free True Scene screen upgrade. Call Renewal by Andersen today for your free design consultation. It's simple. Dial pound 250 from your cell phone. That's pound 250. Say the keyword best windows and be connected in seconds. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from iHeartMedia. Official partner of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. License number CGC 1527613.
Hush, little baby, yes you can. Mama's gonna buy you a prepaid plan. And with that Florida prepaid plan, Mama's gonna send you to college land. And when you're free to pursue your dreams, Mama's gonna watch your future beam.
With a Florida 529 prepaid plan, you can save for your little one's future. Plans start at $29 a month. Open enrollment ends April 30th.
What is the cost of doing nothing? I don't know about you, but these months are the highest power bills of the year, and it's making me think about the years I spent without Solar Source. I'm so glad I finally have Solar Source. I started with the pool heated solar, and I love it. Thrilled that Solar Source now has a pay-as-you-go system where I can save each month starting at just $99. Want to add the battery backup system for your home? Our pay-as-you-go plan works the same. Start with a small battery that provides critical backup power for your lights and your refrigerator, and then it does all these small loads, and then you could stack them to add more energy as time goes on. It's Solar Source.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad.
doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 20% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Spontaneous pizza cravings can happen at any moment, so they've got you covered. Get 2 bigger slices of hot, delicious pizza plus a Pepsi 20-ounce for just $5 with 7 rewards. Cravings satisfied. Valid through 4/29/25. See app for details.
On the bright side, we're not dead yet. You're listening to the new.
And some important ones. For some of you, this will be live. For others, this will be on a delay because of the way the show goes onto other stations. But just bear with us and consider that. We'll get to jury duty here, whatever we can. But right now, just breaking from WFTV, they say 5 dead and 4 injured in active shooter incident at FSU, according to law enforcement. And that's the first we're seeing at this time of any actual numbers on this. And this is suggesting 5 dead and 4 injured in an active shooter incident. According to law enforcement, there were 2 shooters involved. How many times have we heard that? And this is actually law enforcement saying there were 2 shooters involved.
I don't think we've heard that since Columbine. I mean, I just kind of going through my mental notes here. I don't think I've heard of that in a long time.
Yeah, this is the best reporting on this so far from WFTV. And let me just read to you all the information they have, and we'll just try to see what we can pull from it. But it says, Eyewitness News has learned from law enforcement sources that 5 people are dead and 4 others are injured during an active shooter event at Florida State University. According to law enforcement, there were 2 shooters involved. One is in custody and the other is dead. WFTV News is working to learn if the shooter is included in the total number of deaths. Channel 9 has crews on the way. We'll have the latest on the tragic incident on air and online, they said. But that's the first numbers there. Now, when you hear 2 shooters, it does bring me to the same place that it brought C-Lane, which is, hey, is this like a 2-person duo attack? It could be that. It could be that the 2 shooters were like actually shooting at each other, and then other people were shot in the melee of that happening. We don't know as of right now when this show is going live. We don't know what the case is, but they are saying that the law enforcement folks are confirming that there were 2 shooters involved in this whole thing. So that's pretty wild to hear. And those are the first actual solid numbers that we've got on all that. So for those of you who are sitting there and trying to get in touch with kids who might go to FSU or waiting for updates, we'll try to give you what we can here live when we learn it's something that's verified and confirmed. And it looks like the school is secured as of now, and that's the best news that I could tell you in the moment.
Yeah, 2 shooters is
2 shooters is strange.
Nuts.
Yeah. The Dawn on Twitch says there was 2 shooters in California a few years ago. San Bernardino, was it? Was the San Bernardino story with 2 shooters? It's just not a common thing that you see in these stories. It's a common thing that people think it's happening, but it's not a common thing that it would be confirmed if that is indeed true.
Well, you're also you're thinking in terms of a school shooting, as in 2 people plan to go and cause chaos and do that, as opposed to a situation could be there are 2 people who are pissed at each other that both have guns,
right? And
they're fighting, and there are bystanders. The same reaction, police-wise, would happen either way.
And it would be called a school shooting in the moment, regardless.
Right.
And that's what I was saying. Kids could have been caught in the crossfire of 2 people shooting at each other. I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm just saying
we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know as of here this moment live on the show. We don't actually know.
There's a lot of like instant Monday morning quarterbacking. A lot of people, especially people who want to make everything political and go. They go, oh, well, it's Florida. It's open carry. Why aren't the good guys with guns showing up? And you go, it would be a very, very scary situation to try and be the good guy with a gun. And, and try and save the day here when law enforcement is rushing to the scene looking for whoever has a weapon and is firing.
And I think regardless of the carry laws here, you cannot bring a gun on campuses, I thought.
Yeah, that is just the inevitable in the online discussion. Everybody right away goes, way to go, MAGA, or way to go, libtards, not enough guns on the school. Everybody just runs to their little comfortable political place.
Assuming whatever this person's motive is, their political affiliation, and disregarding probably whatever severe mental issues that they have.
Yes. Yeah, which is usually the case. But no one cares to wait for these kind of things. They just want to run with stuff. That's just the nature of things. What's amazing is people will run with things, and then when they are inevitably proven to be wrong about it, no one ever has that moment where they go, oh, guys, I'm sorry, I got it wrong. I screwed that up. You just go on to the next thing where we pretend like we know what's happening. So that's why we're waiting. We know from the Associated Press that they have confirmed that somebody is in custody as a result of what happened here. We know that WFTV is reporting that there were 2 shooters. Again, they say that this is confirmed. We'll see if that pans out. And we know that there are allegedly 5 people who have been killed in this attack. So that's grabbing our attention right now, obviously, because it's top of mind for many people. And we'll think of that as we go into this. Let's do jury duty.
Court is now in session, so put your phone down and pay attention. Before we call the bailiff over to whip your ass, you're now on jury duty with the News Junkie.
Jury duty brought to you by the one, the only Mo DeWitt of the DeWitt Law Firm. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. 800-CALL-MO, 800-CALL-MO, or go to justcallmo.com. After an accident, it's time for you to do the smart thing, and you would be amazed at how fast this whole process can be resolved. Next thing you know, you got a big check, and you feel like you've been treated the right way considering what happened to you in the accident you got into. 800-CALL-MO, 800-CALL-MO, or go to justcallmo.com. All right, we brought it up before the break. Dave's Killer Bread, and apologies for obviously this going on at the same time as a shooting, but this is a story in the news. And if you've never heard of this, it's literally a company. It's kind of genius, actually, that was started up by a guy named Dave Dahl. And I want to get all this right because he was in jail for a lot of things. It wasn't actually murder he was in jail for. This is his wiki entry. It says Dave Dahl is an American entrepreneur, and he is the co-founder of Dave's Killer Bread. It's the name of the company. Before founding the company, he served a total of 15 years in prison for multiple offenses, including but not limited to drug distribution, burglary, armed robbery, and assault. And I guess his whole idea was like, hey, I was a bad guy, but I'm going to put my life together and I'm going to start this company. And he started a bakery, right? He started working in this bakery, and then he developed a cornmeal-crusted loaf they called Dave's Killer Bread. And then they started the company and discovered what we should do here is we should actually hire people who are former prisoners, people who are convicts, and give them a second chance at getting a job and having a great life here. Problem is, now Dave's Killer Bread is in the news with this. It says an Oregon man who killed his coworker at Dave's Killer Bread over the belief that he may have sexually assaulted his girlfriend has learned his fate, and so has the girlfriend. In a press release from Clackamas County, the county's district attorney announced that Cody Denowith, 27, was sentenced to 27 years in prison for the slaying of his coworker, Nathan Anderson, 25, whom he shot and killed last year. The company where they worked is known as a second chance employer, actively supporting the hiring of people with criminal backgrounds who seek to turn their lives around after being jailed. The DA said the motive was rage-fueled by his belief that Anderson had possibly sexually assaulted his girlfriend. So his girlfriend made a claim against this guy, and the boyfriend goes, that's it, I'm going to go kill him. Shows up at Dave's Killer Bread and ends up killing this guy. Problem is, she was lying. She was not telling the truth,
Okay,
they said.
can't do that.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that. It says he made his violent intentions clear to Britt 3 days before committing the act, and he asked Britt to pack his clothes along with his toy, which was his Sig Sauer handgun.
His toy.
She did it. She actually went and put the gun into his stuff and got it all ready. She pleaded guilty to manslaughter in the first degree and unlawful use of a weapon, sentenced to 12 years in prison. He got 27 and a half years in prison, and there you go. So the Dave's Killer Bread Company getting suppressed, but maybe not in the best of ways for them. Also in jury duty, let's fire through these real quick. Actor Haley Joe Osment is in big trouble.
You see dead people still?
Maybe. Booked for public intoxication at a California ski resort, they said.
Ooh.
It was about 2 p.m. Members of the ski patrol said that the 37-year-old was up to no good. He was publicly drunk. The beleaguered actor lost his home in the recent firestorms and has been dealing with some trouble since that. And I guess he was running hog wild at this ski resort. And they said, you can't do this. And they called the cops, and now he was
it
arrested.
must have been bad.
Yeah. I think they said he was creating a whole scene, like it was wild. And finally, in jury duty, there is a woman who calls herself an OnlyFans model who was recently arrested once again. This woman has been arrested. I think she's maybe the grossest person on OnlyFans. I think she's been deleted before. Here she is. The 24-year-old is Kelly Tedford is her name.
Oh,
and the headline,
okay, look at that headline. Mm-hmm.
Says, new pee spree charges for this OnlyFans model. Now, this woman has been arrested before because what she tends to do is she makes OnlyFans content where she pees. She goes to the bathroom. She pees. And in this case, the previous time we talked about her was when she went to a grocery store and peed on stuff and was arrested because that's disgusting and she should be arrested. Now, she rented out a hotel room. And when they saw the hotel room afterwards, they saw that she had peed on the blanket, the curtains. She peed on the Bible that was in the hotel room.
Also, slap in the face to the Gideons.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's more.
And the AC unit inside of it.
Yeah, the AC unit. She's also charged with defecating on the floor.
Oh, my God, lady. There's a toilet.
Putting that into the toilet tank, a frat boy favorite known as an upper decker, it says. This woman is
big smoking gun.
This woman is gross. Oh, gross. And now they said she recorded these antics on her $15 a month OnlyFans page, which is no longer online. Good. They shouldn't be having people like this platformed on there, but how gross. She keeps going to these places to film content. Content involves her peeing on all of their stuff. My
Nasty
good
ass.
God. All right, we're going to
she doesn't want to pee on her own stuff.
Yeah, but still, somebody's getting paid to clean these rooms, and they're going into that room, and they're
but
like,
she's getting paid so much more to do the pee-pees.
And who's subscribing to a woman who does upper deckers in hotel rooms? That's the content you want?
There's a kink
place
for everybody.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious how much she's making.
You think a lot?
I mean, considering the stock prices these days, it's worth a consideration.
I would never
It would
pay
just have
to
to be
watch
a
anything.
specific time of day for me.
Actually, hold on. Let me be clear. I would never watch anything like that. I don't want to. If they pay or not.
You're
if
not
somebody
going to
says,
torrent that
no.
material?
Yeah, they go like,
Check the
this
Plex.
woman, she does an upper decker in a hotel room. Watch the video now.
Listen,
I'm not clicking that.
there is a kink for everybody. I think I've told you guys, and I always have to dance around it, about one of my favorite
Kinks.
stories I've ever read on Reddit was a guy who was into a specific kind of video, a specific kind of porn that involved number 2.
All right, yeah.
And he was so into it that he went on a trip and like got the services of a woman who made a lot of these videos because he thought it would be fun to engage with her. And he said the minute that it appeared,
I'm out.
You regretted it?
He's never instantly regretted so much in his life.
It's like bungee jumping one time.
And then he just kind of was nice about everything. I think he still had sex with her or something.
Okay.
But he
Nice
was just
guy.
she tried, she put the plastic down and everything. And he was like, as soon as that happened, I'm out.
Not above that, I guess, huh? All right, quick break. When we come back, we'll give you updates on this active story that's happening at FSU. We'll tell you what's going down, everything we know that's confirmed. We got some interesting drama in the music world to talk about as well, and that is coming up next on the News Junkie.
Your chance to win $1,000 in your hand is minutes away on Real Radio 104.1. Brought to you by Mills Air.
There's a car stopped on the shoulder on State Road 429 northbound north of State Road 414. Look out for a car stopped on the shoulder on the beach line eastbound near Narcoossee Road. Emergency crews are clearing up an accident on I-4 westbound at the beach line, blocking the left lane there. Travel with caution on the roadways. Traffic starting to pile up on I-4 through that Champions Gate area. If you see traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change traffic tip line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Florida Prepaid College Savings Plan. As the largest, most successful prepaid program in the nation, Florida Prepaid has helped 1.2 million Florida families successfully save for college. Let them help you. Open enrollment is now. Plans start at just $29 a month. Enroll today.
Sunnyside Plumbing.
Hey there, my sink is leaking water. I need help right now.
We're having a company-wide staring contest. Do you want to play?
But what about my sink?
Okay, me versus you.
No.
Ready, go.
No, I'm not playing. And you know what? I should have called Frank Gay.
Oh, I almost blinked.
I'm calling Frank Gay.
When it comes to plumbing problems, you want a helpful operator to guide you and an honest and reliable plumber to provide customized solutions for your home.
That's the Frank Gay way.
FrankGayServices.com.
This earful of real radio is brought to you by JustCallMo.com. Injured on the go? JustCallMo.com.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Get an alarm clock. Kane Super Saturday starts this Saturday at 10 a.m. One day only. Everything is on sale. Over $40 million in furniture.
The whole shebang.
Doors open at 10 a.m.
Kane's Super Saturday.
Life looks pretty good behind the handlebars of a Harley, and that point of view is one that everyone agrees on. At Space Coast Harley Davidson, we'd like to help you get some perspective on what's important. Right now, get 0% interest on select new 2024 Harley models. Get details at 866-826-9072 or spacecoastharley.com anytime. Ride the road and relax. Find your motorcycle and your soul at Space Coast Harley Davidson.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
It's tax season. By now, we're all a bit tired of numbers, but here's one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number, $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed. Save up to 40% in your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit LifeLock.com. That's LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY. Terms apply.
Randy Rainbow, National Freakin' Treasure Tour. Saturday, October 25th at Hard Rock Live Orlando. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster and Hard Rock Live Box Office.
Hey, it's that mortgage guy, Don. Good news. Mortgage rates have improved again this week. Get your quote for a refinance to lower payments or get cash out at thatmortgagguydon.com.
With that mortgage guy, Don.com.
Do you have AC needs? Turn to the experts at Carrier. Go to millsair.com.
Coming to you live from the JustCallMo.com studios. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. Need help after an accident? Visit JustCallMo.com or dial 1-800-CALL-MO. This is WTKS-FM HD1, Cocoa Beach, Orlando. An iHeartRadio station. Make us the #1 preset on your car radio and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
Real Radio has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. WIN. W-I-N. WIN. Enter it now on our website, realradio.fm. Good luck.
No one's really sure what all C-Lane's buttons actually do. This is the news.
Time here. We'll give you live updates if you're listening to the show live on what's happening at FSU, which I'm sure is a topic that a lot of people are tuned into as of right now, and a whole lot more on the way. First, just some basics that we can tell you about what happened at Florida State University. WFTV was, I think, and remains the only outlet that was giving a death toll. I have seen now. And I'm struggling with what to show and what not to show, honestly, here, because, some of the footage that's coming out of FSU is tough. But there is a video. I'll simply show a still from it if you're watching. And in this video, somebody filmed it behind some bushes. And you see people running all over the place. But there's one person in it who is not running. And they appear to be just shooting at random students on the campus at FSU. So that looks to be the first thing that I could see where it looks like traditional school shooting type story where somebody was just targeting people running around the school. And in this footage, there's someone down by the sidewalk, and there's a person who just walks right by them. And it looks to be like kind of going after other folks. So that's out there. A lot of other stuff that you probably don't want to see out there. FSU saying, and this is the least shocking thing you will hear all day, but all Florida State athletics home events through Sunday, April 20th have been canceled.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna shut all of this type of stuff down, at least for the time being. Further updates on events scheduled for next week will be communicated when available, they're saying.
I'm seeing from, and I guess it's worth verifying, but it's like only is there a same day where a news update on a school shooting in Dallas alongside a different school shooting at FSU.
No, that's true. Yeah.
So there was another shooting?
No. They were doing coverage of the previous school shooting in, I believe, Dallas, where, as I told you, there was like a student who was upset about a dice game. Something went wrong with this dice game, and there was some beef between a couple of students. And that particular student, they've caught him, they captured him. That story was kind of like dying down. But this one in particular came up as they were doing some extended coverage of that on one of the live streams. I think a Fox live stream. This all apparently happened at the Student Union building. And here's an FSU student describing seeing what happened here. Hang on.
Tom Yamas. Hey, good afternoon. We are coming on the air with breaking news right now. An apparent active shooter situation unfolding at Florida State University in Tallahassee.
All right, let me see if I can get to the part where they talk to an eyewitness here on the campus, because that's the sort of the most valuable information that you could get in a story like this. Actually, this doesn't want to work for me. I'm going to instead do this, tell you what they said. It says the student who is talking out remains on lockdown in a campus building and describes seeing nothing but blue lights from police presence, which we know is true because we saw like maybe 24 or so police cars, maybe more than that. Like every
that was
cop,
just one scene.
Yeah, like every cop in the area
campus
is there. This eyewitness says, I did see them carry out one student in what looked like a stretcher, and they kept them in the road until an ambulance was able to pick them up. Directly across from me, there's a building about 50 feet outside of the window. There was a student injured there as well, and they had to transport them in a desk chair to the road to then be transported via ambulance because the person couldn't walk and then have a stretcher, so they just kept them in their desk chair and like rolled them out to the ambulance.
God, man.
She says she believes the shots rang out around noon inside the student union, the heart of campus bustling with students and faculty at this time of day. Actually, a couple faculty that work in the building I'm in ran up after the sirens went off to take shelter with me, and they said they heard the gunshots and were running, according to this particular student who was in lockdown on the campus. So, a troubling incident there, obviously, and we're keeping an eye on what's going on. The networks that are talking about it are still just kind of jostling the same things back and forth right now, so not a lot to tell you other than the eyewitness stuff. Here's somebody else. Sam Schwartz and Sean Coolidge said they were in a basement of the FSU student union when the shooting started. Everybody started freaking out, Schwartz said. He said they heard maybe 10 gunshots while they were working on a group project. The group of 8 cornered themselves in a hallway and started to barricade the opening with trash cans and plywood. I remember learning to do the best you can to make them take time because they don't want to do anything that takes time. They're just trying to get as many people, Schwartz said. That's crazy. That is crazy to think about that. Yeah, this is a student who learned about what to do if there's an active shooter at your school, actively using the suggestions that were given to them, which you probably would just glaze your eyes and roll your eyes at the idea like, oh, there's going to be a school shooter at my school. And this person heard that and then actually had to put it into play.
Oh, my God.
And block people off. The whole event took maybe 10 minutes, they said, but it felt a lot longer. Students heard law enforcement officers going up and down hallways, telling everybody to come out with their hands up. Everybody was patted down and checked before evacuating. Coolidge, a resident assistant or an RA, said they trained for these types of situations, but I never thought I'd have to use them. I trusted the training, he said. They also say the president has been briefed in all of this. Governor DeSantis saying our prayers with FSU family and state law enforcement is actively responding. So that's the update on that at the moment. It's weird also being a parent in 2025 is such a weird, it's a weird slate for you, C-Lane, to be a parent in this day and age. And you see more and more stories about people who are trying to protect their kids at all elements and all costs. And the story today out of California was that a man was arrested for abducting a 10-year-old child. And they said this guy, this scumbag responsible for this, I guess, the person responsible met this 10-year-old girl on Roblox.
Okay.
And
I have heard about this damn game.
The Roblox app, which is kind of, I don't want to anger video game fans who disagree, but like Minecraft.
It's basically absolutely Minecraft. It is 100% just Minecraft with the name changed.
Celine has no problem about angering any video gamers, but I have heard that when it comes to this game and Minecraft, that there is no way that they're really telling what grown-ass adults that have no children are on there chatting it up.
Isn't that weird? I feel like if I had a 10-year-old, I would not let them on any app or any game at all
when they're
where they could
screaming
communicate.
at you, where all their friends are playing.
Too bad.
Roblox.
I would have to really put my foot down on that. I would say you can play whatever games you want that are within reason, but I don't want you playing any game at all. Not one single time where you can talk to another person. Like if it's possible to play Roblox and not communicate with other people, fine, good to go. But I wouldn't want them on. Doesn't Fortnite allow you to do that too, Sabrina? Where like you just like talk, chat with other people who are playing the game?
I thought they had locked that down for people under a certain age.
I mean, I always have it turned off, but you can, I suppose, talk to other people. Depends on like the game that you're playing. I know Call of Duty, my short run of that. The moment I turned the microphone on, I said, I will not do that again. Because it was rough.
People coming at you for being a woman playing video games?
I mean, it doesn't matter. I didn't even speak all that much. Wasn't great at the game, but there are some nasty, vile people in there.
Yeah.
But it isn't really like, Roblox seems a lot more friendly, open world style versus like Call of Duty where everyone's talking smack and being awful.
There's not a lot of people just being nice.
Grooming ground.
Yeah, like an adult being on here and talking to a kid is super,
Especially if you
super
can
weird.
transfer like Robux to other kids. It's dangerous. And if that company's making so much money every single day, then can we not put some of that into ensuring that the children that are playing are safe?
Even if they have some kind of rules and stuff in place, and people are saying, like Sour Patch Pete on Twitch says, you can restrict the chat in games by age. That might be true, but they should make it so you can't just be 10 wandering on and starting up a conversation with somebody, and then it's a 27-year-old dude who you're talking to. I would just be very, very, very aware about that if I was a parent. And I'm sure a lot of you are. And if you've experienced something like that with your kids, we'd love to hear your story. tips@thenewsjunkie.com is the email side. Also, you can send a dispatch over at thenewsjunkie.com. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we'll see if there's any updates we need to tell you about FSU and what's going on there. A lot of coverage is popping up on this now, and eventually we'll figure out what happened. But before then, we should not be jumping to conclusions here, and we're trying to avoid that today. So stick with us. We'll see what's going on and give you the latest that's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real Radio is on Instagram at Real Radio 1041. Sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Have you been in an accident? Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
Keep an eye out for an accident off to the shoulder on I-4 westbound at the beach line. The right lane is blocked on US 27 northbound before US 192. Traffic's piling up on I-4 through that Lake Buena Vista area. There's slowdowns on I-4 westbound through that World Drive area and stop-and-go traffic before US 27 and after State Road 429. If you see traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Red Pilled America.
What's an American? It sounds like an easy question to answer, but it's not so simple. This week on Red Pilled America, we take a deep dive into this question, and what we found will shock you. Listen to Red Pilled America on the iHeartRadio app. That's Red Pilled America, a storytelling show.
Exciting news for those of you that own businesses. That mortgage guy, Don, does commercial and small business administration loans. If you have an existing SBA loan with a rate of 9% or more, you are in luck. That mortgage guy, Don, can refinance your qualified high-interest SBA loan to a low fixed rate of 8.25%. Don't leave money on the table. Let that mortgage guy, Don, help you get the money off the table and back in your business hands where it belongs. You want to buy a business or a franchise? That mortgage guy, Don, has your back and has over 50 sources for your SBA and business loans of all sizes. Get the process started today with an expert and a friend that you could trust. Go to thatmortgageguyDon.com.
Don't miss the boat, compare your quote with thatmortgageguyDon.com.
This earful of Real Radio is sponsored by Wassey's Meat Market, the best place to buy a big green egg.
Why go to just another sports bar when you can go to Crush Yard? The food, amazing. The drinks, top shelf. Craft beers, a gajillion of them. And then the big surprise, pickleball, all indoor on pristine new courts. So that's it, right? Wrong, because we've also got ping pong, cornhole, and a full arcade for the kids. So, Kissimmee, when the temps rise, cool off with the best food, games, and fun at the hottest new spot in town. Visit crushyard.com and follow us on social for details. See you down at the yard.
Allergies are torture, but Exact from Aspire Allergy and Sinus can help you beat your allergies for good. Exact is clinically proven to give long-term, lasting allergy relief in 3 injections. That's right, allergy relief in 3 injections. No matter how long you've suffered, no matter what else you've tried, with 3 injections, you can experience relief from your allergies. Exact from Aspire Allergy and Sinus. Go to aspireallergy.com to book your appointment today. aspireallergy.com.
Join the circle of life at the Lion King. Don't miss your chance to experience the world's #1 musical. The Lion King is one of the most awe-inspiring productions ever brought to life on stage. Feel alive at the Lion King.
Coming to Dr. Phillips Center April 23rd through May 18th. Visit drphillipscenter.org to get your tickets now.
Life looks pretty good behind the handlebars of a Harley, and that point of view is one that everyone agrees on. At Space Coast Harley Davidson, we'd like to help you get some perspective on what's important. Right now, get 0% interest on select new 2024 Harley models. Get details at 866-826-9072 or spacecoastharley.com anytime. Ride the road and relax. Find your motorcycle and your soul at Space Coast Harley Davidson. I'm Keith, founder and owner of International Diamond Center. We want to be cutting edge on the fashion world.
Keith LeClaire at IDC, talking about how IDC is now a premier destination for one-of-a-kind fashion jewelry. Earrings, pendants, bracelets, necklaces, timepieces.
Most people know that we're a diamond house, but what they don't know is that we have a tremendous amount of fashion. More than half of our store is dedicated to fashion jewelry.
Featuring the world's premier designers with unique styles in white gold, yellow gold, platinum, and an exciting new collection of gorgeous eye-catching colored stones.
Rubies, sapphires, emeralds, parivas, tourmalines, aquas, you name it, we have it. There's so many gemstones out there that people never even heard about. We are making a big move into it. Every woman needs a wardrobe of jewelry.
So if you're looking for the finest in fashion jewelry for any occasion and everyday wear, you'll find the most creative, most dazzling, most cutting-edge styles right here at IDC.
A woman can never have too much jewelry.
International Diamond Center, Altamont Springs, Millennium Mall, and Waterford. Online at shopidc.com.
Hey everybody, Jim Colbert here. Look, when it comes to protecting your family and belongings, what's more important than the roof over your head? Not much. And that's why I go with the most experience out there with the best reviews. That's Eustace Roofing. Over 1,000 5-star reviews with a 4.9 Google rating with over 1,000 reviews. Providing all of Central Florida with quality roofing for over 65 years. And these guys are metal roofing experts, meaning they build it on site for perfect fit. And they even have no interest financing available. Visit eustaceroofing.com today and schedule your free estimate.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Get an alarm clock. Get a rooster. Kane Super Saturday starts this Saturday at 10 a.m.
Prepare to lose your mind.
One day only, everything is on sale. Over $40 million in furniture.
The whole shebang.
New sofas from $499. Dining rooms from $299. Three-piece beds from $299. Special financing store-wide.
Call the cops. This is stealing. Kane's Super Saturday.
Doors open at 10 a.m.
Roundup Dual Action products rock like a hardcore metal band. This stuff kills existing weeds down to the root. And for an encore, keeps them from coming back for up to 4 months. That's a non-stop 16-week tour of killing and preventing weeds in all the famous outdoor venues. The patio, the driveway, the mulch bed, even along the fence. When it comes to your hardscapes and landscapes, the stuff puts on a show. Roundup Dual Action products kill and prevent weeds for up to 4 months. This stuff rocks. This stuff works. When used as directed, always read and follow pesticide label directions.
Here's what's trending now on the new and improved iHeartRadio app.
Okay, don't freak out. Chaperone is here, and she is unfiltered on Las Culturistas. I gotta warn you, there is no topic off limits. Plus, Kate Cassidy breaks her silence on Purpose with Jay Shetty. She talks about Liam Payne, and it's an episode you do not want to miss. Plus, Amy Lou Wood drops by On Air with Ryan Seacrest, and she says she felt pretty ugly after learning her casting process for White Lotus.
Explore the latest. Open the free iHeartRadio app and see what's trending now.
Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisor. Visit TrajanWealth.com.
Real Radio has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. WIN. W-I-N. WIN. Enter it now on our website, realradio.fm. Good luck.
A safe haven of sorts for all of the 95%ers. This is the...
Expected dispatch I think we've ever gotten on this show, if this is real.
Really?
But, yeah, I'll
It's a
get to
bold
it in
statement.
There's been some weird ones over the days, and there's been some interesting ones, some great ones. 95% of the dispatches are and then those 5% that are just really magnifique. That's what it's all about. That's why we do things around here. You can join us on the show with your dispatch. Send yours over at thenewsjunkie.com. But we were talking about this story, which must make you worry as a parent if you got a young kid, about a 10-year-old girl who got kidnapped by some guy she met on Roblox. And a dispatch came in from the lovely Lolita that said her son had been in a similar situation.
Whoa.
But there's a twist. So here we go. Let's see.
So when my son was 12, he used to play Minecraft and League of Legends games. And I would hear him on his microphone, on his headset, talking and talking. Who are you talking to, son? Oh, Brad. And I said, who's Brad? Oh, it's the kid I play with. He lives in Michigan. I said, you do know Brad is a 40-year-old man in his underwear sitting in his mother's basement. I actually called him a 40-year-old pervert.
Okay, so she's like, you're talking to Brad. Who is this guy? He's a 40-year-old man in his underwear. This is dangerous online, all right?
Say, months later, my son says, Brad wants to take me to Disney World. I said, oh, okay, let me meet Brad and his parents. Well, much to my surprise, Brad and his parents showed up at our house. Oh. We had a lovely time with those people. We did not let him go to Disney World. And Brad was the best man in my son's wedding 2 years ago. So
she thought he was some creeper talking to her son.
Twist.
And it turns out it was like, no, Brad's a regular dude, and he's was the best man in my son's wedding 2 years ago. But I will still say, parents, make sure that your kids are
rare occasion.
For every Brad, there's a whole lot of not Brads, right? Where things don't go well and it doesn't become a positive experience. No. There's many more times when this goes in a bad direction. Speaking of video games, here's Sinister talking about video games. All right, we'll go down this territory.
Hey, junkies. Just wanted to give Sabrina a shout out. I'm a gamer. I like to, beat up guys in games. And one way I kind of got around all the smack talk was changing my gamer tag to a girl. That way, when I blast their head off, it says, you were killed by a girl.
Got him.
I get it. Your username is a girl, and then it says you were killed by a girl. Got him. Cool. I do know that is a problem, though, for real. I mean, I absolutely know that that's an issue because I've seen so many YouTube videos of just a woman playing the game, not saying anything, not really doing anything, and they'll be like, go over here and try to block this guy off. And then immediately it'll be like, what? Is that a girl? Is that a woman? Is that? Yeah. And then creepy, and it's just bad territory.
Best friend and I would play, and then we were able to talk, and then there was some setting in which it wasn't until the end of the match that everyone's microphones were active. Mm-hmm. And then, a little part of me, a couple games, I just said whatever I could in those 10 seconds. And I thought I got out of 5, 1.5 great digs.
Yeah.
Something like, why don't you go, I can't say it on the radio. Just was about to say it, but it was a good dig.
I don't know if I could do that. Something about his
mom or pubes or something like that.
I don't like that.
Maybe his mom's pubes. I don't know.
I don't like that people go on there and you're just shouting at strangers and stuff. Like, what do these people know you
Your
from?
age is showing, Grandpa.
Maybe I'm crazy over here, but I would imagine you could have a world where not everybody's yelling at each other and screeching the N-word. But does Animal Crossing stay safe from this, or even over there it gets bad?
It's been a minute, but
potatoes.
In my great days of Animal Crossing during COVID, there's very nice people and people that we met on the internet somewhere, and it's like, okay, we're coming over to my island and we'll share some stuff, blah blah blah, and then I would just release some cockroaches to keep my name solid and one to be feared.
What happened with wholesome stuff? Did we just lose all of that? Is this
the wholesome stuff's where all the perverts hang out?
I know. They've ruined the best territory out here where it's supposed to be sweet people being sweet, but it's not anymore. Just a disaster all over.
No, sweet, more sour.
I want people to be nicer, and they just can't seem to pull it off for some reason.
Play a dispatch in which someone calls you wrong.
I will only go after people who go after me. I don't just randomly go after a dispatcher.
Would the same be said for gamers?
Well, what am I supposed to say? If a dispatcher is like, Sean, you're an idiot, you screwed this up, and then that dispatcher is wrong, what am I supposed to do with that? How do I handle that situation properly?
Kill him with kindness.
No, I don't want to kill him with kindness. I get emails all day.
What do you want to kill him with?
Not a good day for that.
Yeah, let me back that off.
Mad Libs.
But I get emails all day from people who want attention, or people who are really dumb and like dumb and loud. That bad combo of dumb and loud, and self-assured. The people that just really need to be taken down a notch. And so when somebody sends a dispatch like that, of course I go after them. I would have to. I got to set up some ground rules around this part. But if I was on a video game playing with people, if I was playing with you in a video game, I'd be like, hey, what's going on? Let's try to work together to get
out of
the high
my
score.
lobby, you little bitch. Noob.
You would probably say that because I would be embarrassingly bad, as I generally am at most of these kind of games.
I haven't played
Most
in
people
so
don't.
long.
They don't want me on any teams. What's the big game now? What's everybody playing? It's not like PUBG or any of those games anymore, right?
I don't think. I feel like there was an update on something that just was getting the rounds.
It's not The Last of Us. Red Dead Redemption? I thought that was old.
But those are the only things I'm playing is Last of Us and Fortnite. So
I say old. People still playing GTA 5 or whatever the numerous downloadable content has upgraded that to.
That's true. Yeah.
There's another one Jeff was telling me about, but, I just can't play the second Last of Us game because it will spoil the show
the thing
for everyone else in the household.
Hey, how's that been so far? I haven't seen any buzz really for The Last of Us.
Only been one episode.
Oh, my God, that first episode was incredible.
I know, but I would have figured that a new episode comes out and everybody would be talking about it. I haven't seen anybody talking about this new season of The Last of Us. I haven't seen anything. I would have figured there would be more buzz.
I feel like this one coming up this weekend will create that buzz moment.
We'll see.
It's an establishing thing.
Right now, I think there are some shows that really, truly do suffer from too long of a time between season 1 and season 2.
I mean, case in point, we're still watching Handmaid's Tale. This is the last season.
That last episode was a dud.
You thought so?
I was just like, what happened here?
You know how they do that now. We talked about this with Severance. They always toss in those episodes. Just make one less episode in the season.
I don't know, because Upload was only like 6 episodes, and I was like, that you could have done a little more, couldn't we have?
See, Len, respectfully, you were one of the only people that watched Upload.
Upload was a great show.
I agree, but
I watched the first season, but just like these other shows I'm talking about, it took too long. And then when the second season came out, I didn't care anymore. I didn't want to see that anymore.
Get to the
but
point.
Last of Us I liked. I wanted to see Last of Us.
It was great. Great episode.
No buzz right now.
Not a fun watch party with me and Jeff, though. We got yelled at by Dan to stop talking.
What do you guys do? You were just chatting through it?
Because we were geeking out. Because a lot of it was like straight from the video game, and then there was other stuff where they're like, took the gamers for a ride. But yes, at one point, I mean, Nicole thought it was really cute what we were doing.
Yeah.
Dan was like, can you guys stop talking? I can't hear anything. And I said, that makes sense. Jeff and I were going to have just a separate watch party for the geeking.
Eddie on YouTube says, The Last of Us episode was great with more unneeded woke-s, he said, on Last of Us. Was there something about it that was woke?
Nothing that's changed from the game and plot of that.
I don't know enough about it. You know what I did? I'll be honest with you. I'll be real.
Everything's woke these days.
I made a huge mistake.
No.
I made a huge mistake.
For yourself?
I read what happened in the second video game.
Why would you do that?
Because I was interested and I wanted to see what happened. And I read what happened in the second video game and I was like,
don't say it, man.
I was like, I don't care about that direction as much. But I don't want to write it off just because I saw that and read it. It might still be good. I don't want to be that guy. But when somebody says woke zombies, they got woke zombies?
Oh, there were woke zombies, yeah, for sure.
How do you know a zombie's woke, right? I don't know. I don't know how you spot that, but...
Depends on what sports they're playing.
I guess. Let's go over to Mindset, who is talking about what's happening over at FSU, which is obviously unfolding here during the live show today. So let's see what Mindset says.
Hey, Sean, Sabrina, C-Lane.
Hey,
how's it going? I got a niece that goes to FSU. I called her. She said she's fine. She said it's just crazy over there. She said she heard so many rumors, but we can all wait till the facts come out. But I was just sitting here thinking as I'm doing yard work. I was thinking about, I'm sure you guys did earlier, about that school that wouldn't let those cops in.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what would they do if that happened there?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I mean, I think that's the point. I think the point of this school that we talked about a while back, where the principal and the secretary who was at the front desk didn't want the cops to go in. That's the point a lot of parents have. In a situation where there's an emergency.
I doubt there would go through the front office.
I don't know. I don't know.
No way.
I don't know that that's the case. I know that school has been resistant to having police on campus, which, let me tell you something. That ends in any emergency. Because every last one of these people that's like, defund the police, ACAB, nobody in my family calls 911.
FTP.
Yeah, right. All those things. Every one of those people.
HTTP.
When, as my dad used to say, when the rubber meets the road, right? When things get real, when the rubber meets the road.
Oh, tires, Scott.
Every one of those people is calling 911 and begging for help, as any normal human being would do. So in these incidents, you got to hope that the school is working with them. And FSU seems to have been on point, getting all the information out that they could, trying to make sure the message was getting out to as many students as possible. So you have to give them credit for that. There's a journalist on the scene named Forrest Saunders who said that this person was shackled by law enforcement and removed from the scene via ambulance. Now, if somebody was just
I saw a video of an officer
this
handing the shackles over.
It's somebody who I guess is like shackled to the stretcher and being put into this ambulance. But if somebody was just a victim, I don't think they would have any reason ever to shackle those people or to restrain those people.
Were they shackled, were the legs shackled together, or were they strapped to the stretcher?
I just sent you the footage prior to that, where it's an officer handing over said shackles, which are almost look like a movie prop, to be honest.
So you would guess, though, that this person is alleged to have been involved. Mm-hmm. That would just be at least my guess. Let's see this video.
It's the one
here.
that you just sent, but it's like right before it. See it?
All right. This is some officers giving guns to each other. Okay, yeah, this is the ambulance that they loaded the guy in the back of.
You could see the shackles he just handed him, right?
Yeah. They just sent this cop some shackles, and so he's going over to the ambulance. There's a person loaded into said ambulance. They gave him the shackles are just handcuffs with a longer thing in between them, and they are now cuffing this person's feet to the actual stretcher itself and getting them in there. Now, we wouldn't think that there's a chance that they would do that if this was a victim, right? Like, that seems to me to be something that you do if there's an actual suspect here. And in the other video, you could just barely make out what this person looked like. Is that
on the red shirt?
This person right here is on the stretcher. They have short hair, at least from what I could tell here. And maybe
I wonder,
a beard.
Was that the same one with that other video that we're not showing? From the guy behind the bush?
Oh, I don't know. That one's so far away. But all of this is happening at Florida State University, if you're not aware. We don't know definitively exactly what happened. And, of course, it's just the way it is with these stories. But WFTV reported 5 dead and 4 injured at this incident that is taking place on the campus over there.
There was another report that came out that the injured was up to 6.
Did they confirm? Did anybody else say anything about the 2 shooters? Because that remains the weirdest thing.
I think the other report that said it was 5 dead, 6 injured also confirmed 2 shooters, 1 dead, 1 in custody.
That is wild. All right, so there you go. And we'll see if there's anything on that we need to tell you before the end of the show. We'll also do this. Final dispatches.
What a day.
Stories that didn't make the cut. And today, to wrap everything up for a Thursday. That is coming up next on the News Junkie.
This weekend, Real Radio 104.1 smells like the 90s. I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me? Classic alternative this week.
Than normal with a high of around 85 degrees today in Orlando. We have high pressure that continues to build in, and that's going to keep us quite dry over the course of not only today, but through the end of this weekend into the weekend as well. Our next round of rain likely won't arrive until early to middle parts of next week. From the Fox 35 Storm Team, I'm meteorologist Jessica Dobson.
This report is sponsored by Rasmussen University.
At Rasmussen University, we offer a full suite of nursing programs from pre-licensure to doctoral, online and on campus. Programs vary by campus. Learn more at rasmussen.edu/Florida.
Here in Orlando, we know life doesn't slow down for anything, especially a broken garage door. Since 2002, Precision Garage Door has been proudly serving the Orlando community. Local and reliable, that's what makes them different. Their vans are fully stocked, so when you call, their fully vetted techs are ready to provide you with same-day service. Whether it's a stuck door or a snap spring, they have you covered right when you need it most. We know a broken garage door can't wait, which is why we're always prepared to help by keeping our vans fully stocked. Call Precision Garage Door today or visit them online at PrecisionGarageDoor.com. Precision Garage Door. Garage doors done right.
Warning, if you're thinking about surgery to fix your chronic joint pain, stop, because surgery can be risky, painful, and come with a lengthy recovery time. But there is an alternative, a groundbreaking therapy that revitalizes damaged tissue with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. QC Kinetics has successfully treated tens of thousands of patients, freeing them from pain in their knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints. Before you resort to invasive surgery, find out if you're a candidate for this advanced regenerative therapy by calling 689-314-7578. Don't let chronic pain dictate your life any longer, and don't risk surgery. Learn more about the joint pain therapy endorsed by professional athletes and available now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. To find out if you're eligible, request a free consultation from QC Kinetics. You owe it to yourself to learn more about this surgery-free alternative with no drugs and no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today, 689-314-7578. 689-314-7578.
Kevin, why is my auto insurance so expensive? I need to switch because my company raised my rates again.
I hear you, Jay. I had the same problem, but then I called Acceptance. They saved me hundreds on my car insurance.
Really?
Yes, Acceptance was great. They did all the work comparing different plans and found me the best payment options that fit my budget.
Do you have their number?
Sure do. 800-606-7049. 800-606-7049.
Why pay more for auto insurance? Acceptance Insurance has offices in your neighborhood, and one call to Acceptance could save you up to 30% on your car insurance. 800-606-7049. Let Acceptance shop for you. By comparing and finding the best rates, you could save up to 30%. 800-606-7049. 800-606-7049. Restrictions apply based on Q1 2024 study of Acceptance Insurance customers who reported saving when they switched. License number L012294.
Permanent injuries may not appear immediately after an accident. That's why the insurance company wants to settle with you quickly. They want you to sign away your claim before you even know the full extent of your injuries. Don't accept pennies on the dollar. Never sign anything until you speak with me. I'm Orlando injury attorney Mo DeWitt. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. Visit justcallmo.com. Or call 1-800-CALL-MO.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
All about the presets.
That is the best new feature. It's like a car radio right on the app. There's a list of what's trending. There's all the podcasts. I love it.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA guide at betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. Go to betternestegg.com.
This earful of Rail Radio is sponsored by RC Hill Mitsubishi, Highway 1792 in DeLand.
Because you're never too old to learn something stupid. This is the News Junkie.
And today I learned to wrap everything up for a Thursday. Kind of a weird show. Sorry about that. I mean, look, when we have something as important as this to a lot of people who are listening to the show, we got to focus on those kind of events. And, you know.
I mean, the whole nation is hearing about it right now.
Yeah, we're talking about the incident at FSU rather. And as of now, they still are kind of a little bit in the dark as to all of the details, but there's lots of footage out there of a shooting on campus, and there's some numbers floating around that aren't confirmed about how many dead, or the WFTV story says they confirmed that with law enforcement, and they're suggesting at least 5 or 6 dead, but a frightening day for any parent of a student at that university, or really just anywhere else, I would think.
Can't imagine this, and I did a little bit of quick math, and I think it's certainly possible, but one of the news feeds from the Tallahassee Democrat, which just has like kind of hour by hour stuff that's going on, they had a report. Students in the College of Business building adjacent to the Union said they heard a teacher run down the hallway alerting them of the shooter. This student said he was studying for a final exam. We've been trying to drown out the chaos, but it got much more serious when a student who also lived through the Parkland shooting entered the room. And was like, man, I never thought this would happen again.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
there you go.
Man.
What are the odds?
Chills.
Yeah, and the footage, people are now looking closer into the footage of this actual, at least one of these people, because there may have been 2 of them.
Not me. The one I sent you was like Mario from the first Nintendo.
Oh, was it?
The quality of picture is awful.
Yeah, and they've tried to, in this one that I'm looking at, they tried to enhance that and zoom in on the guy that was firing off these shots so you could hear on the campus, but it's just so blurry.
He has a gun in his hand.
Yeah, you hear it.
Oh.
Obviously, but it's so far away you can't see what's going on, and maybe we're all the better for it, but they've got somebody in custody and somebody else that they think was responsible for this too, perhaps. And we'll follow that story. Hopefully we'll have a fun Friday coming up on this show. Hopefully we'll have some distractions in another direction tomorrow when you join us. I saw, this is going out to our resident Marlins fan, Sabrina.
Hey, what up? Let's play ball, it's game day.
They said just 7,324 fans watched the Marlins versus D-backs last night at Lone Depot Park. The Marlins entered the game over 500%. The weather was 79 degrees and clear skies. MLB has a big problem in Miami. And their point is, like, the Marlins are winning. The Marlins have, like, a decent stadium.
Yeah, in the middle of downtown Miami.
Nobody wants to go to it, maybe for that reason or whatever. But like, I'm looking. Yeah, they said there's 7,000 people here. This does not look like 7,000 people to me.
Oh, well, it's just such a massive stadium that if you were to take all those little dots and put them in one place, sure. But that stadium is huge.
I feel like there's maybe 500 people here. Maybe this was like early.
Day, when we did it at the Joe DiMaggio, the Land Shark, whatever the name was at the time, stadium, then you had Dolphins and Marlins in the same place.
Yeah.
And it was a massive parking lot and much easier to get to. I can't imagine trying to go watch the Heat or Marlins at the stadium that they're at now.
I'll tell you, for me, and I don't know if this is the same for you guys, like, for instance, if I was going to go to an NBA game, beyond the fact that I'm not into sports, I wouldn't want to go because that seems like a nightmare. Getting in and out of that area, parking.
NBA's the least of your problems when you're thinking of, you said 7,000 people at this Lone Depot Park, which the capacity is anywhere from 34 to 37,000 people.
Oh,
so
God.
With just 7 there, yeah, it is going to look pretty sparsely attended when you could have so many more.
Yeah, you got to wonder, though.
It's very easy at City and Pride games if you guys want to come on down.
Well, I got to wonder when I watch this, though, do we have places like this? Like, could it possibly be true that Miami just doesn't give a damn about their baseball team?
Oh, they show up to the soccer games.
No, the soccer games they like, I'm sure, but I'm talking about the baseball team in Miami in particular. It doesn't look like, even over the years, you'll remember as well as I do, Sabrina, when they won the World Series, everybody jumped on board and they were like, absolutely. Marlins, go Marlins. And then the next season, I remember seeing videos like this, and all of a sudden it's like, do we really like them anymore?
Well, that's why I was always at Marlins games. It's how do you afford something for 4 children around the same age with
cheap.
a couple years difference. We never went to a Dolphins game. It was Marlins.
When I would go to Cubs games, it didn't matter who they were playing. It didn't matter if it was a Wednesday, if kids were in school. It was always full.
That's because the Cubs and the Red Sox have people. Those are teams that aren't full of fair weather fans. They have people that come and are loyal no matter what.
Brutal, man. All right, here we go. It's time, friends, to wrap things up and get on out of here. Let's do the final dispatches.
These are the final dispatches, but Sean will probably only play one.
All right, we'll see what we get to here. BDMX-Con says they're 15 games into a 162-game season. It's fine.
Ooh, yeah.
Could that be the problem, BDMX-Con?
It might be. It was a weekday, school night, whatever.
My team lost. Don't worry, though. They've got 161 more games to make up that loss.
So many.
It's a lot. It's a lot right there. There's not anything else that I could think of that has that many games in a season. Certainly the NFL doesn't, right? They're much more compact than that. Let's get in the final dispatch, and we will just do one on the way out. Who do we got? Here's Flip talking about their 10-year-old online.
Yeah, so my 10-year-old son one night was talking in bed at like 2:30 in the morning. And we're like, what in the hell is going on? So I sneaked down there, opened the door, and that little asshole found our hidden Wi-Fi password that we had written down and hidden someplace. And because he gets home from school about 5 minutes before my wife gets home from work, he snoops like any good 10-year-old does. And that's fine. We have all the dangerous stuff locked up, but we didn't think about lock up the password to the Wi-Fi. And he doesn't have any fancy video games. He does have an old Nintendo Switch, like when they first came out. And that little asshole went and got the Wi-Fi password, logged on, and hid the Switch so that in the middle of the night he can get on one of these open world games and play it and talk to whoever is on.
And they want to hang out with these other people.
Back in our day, it would be very clear who was getting on the internet. Because dial-up was very loud and you couldn't be on the phone at the same time.
Yes. But, I was going to say, would I have done this in my day?
Yeah.
But I did, didn't I? Like, I was in AOL chat rooms. I didn't know who those people were. And I was a kid. I was a little kid, like in the AOL chat room with a bunch of adults that would like direct message you or something.
We have?
Not a lot of real-life meetup. I did meet a girl and date her from AIM way back in the day when I was like 15 years old.
Say what?
So it happens every once in a while, I guess. But
well, I couldn't meet the person when I was 23 from California.
Mom wouldn't let you? No.
At 13 years old.
Yeah, it's a good idea to draw a line there, I think, sometimes. Okay, the stories that didn't make the cut, everything made the cut today. Sorry, we're getting out of here. Here we go. Let's do Today I Learned.
The following information may make you feel smarter, but will not actually increase your IQ. So don't get cocky. Now it's time for what we call Today I Learned.
It is Today I Learned for a Thursday, April 17th, 2025. Today I Learned this band right here.
The Wallflowers.
The Wallflowers. Who's the lead singer of the Wallflowers?
Jacob Dylan.
Wow.
Jacob Dylan is the son of Bob Dylan.
Correct.
And the lead singer of the Wallflowers. Now his son, Pablo Dylan, is also in the music industry.
Hi, Pablo Dylan.
Pablo Dylan is a rapper because, of course, he is.
Come on, Cinderella.
And here's what Pablo Dylan says, a direct quote. Pablo Dylan says of his grandfather, Bob Dylan, "My grandfather, I consider him to be the Jay-Z of his time."
Oh. Not a lot of people have said that.
Yeah, Bob Dylan is a lot of things, but would I say Bob Dylan is the Jay-Z of his time? I don't know.
Bob Dylan's like, who's that?
H to the Hizzo.
All right, here we go. Today I learned this band.
Blink 182.
That's right, Blink 182. At the time, they were called Blink. When they first formed, they used to call up local high schools, convincing them that Blink was a motivational band with a strong anti-drug message in hopes they could play at an assembly or a lunch. And I don't know if they kept up with that over the years. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Missed any of the show? Get the podcast at thenewsjunkie.com. We'll see you tomorrow.